Hello and welcome to the Football Social with Sky Bet. We are back again. It is show 2 and we will be live every single Saturday on Football Daily and Soccer social channels, giving you all of the updates for the 3 p.m. games in the Premier League. And, of course, we'll be updating you in all the EFL action. On the sofa today, firstly, very excited, Chris Hamill. Chris, always great to have you on the show. How are you?
Thank you very much, mate. I'm always excited in your company. I am superb. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you, Chris. Joining him, watching our feature game today, Tottenham against Fulham, former Fulham midfielder, amongst other clubs as well. Steve Sidwell, how are you?
Very good, mate. How are you?
Very good, thanks. Excited that you're on the show. And that is not it, because we have another sofa of 2 brilliant guests. Firstly, apologies for the choice of shirt that he has chosen to wear. It is Dave Jackson from Football Daily. Now, Dave, tell the viewers about your role, because we're watching our feature game, as we've said, which is Spurs-Fulham.
So basically, yeah, you guys are watching Fulham against Spurs. I'll be watching the other 3 o'clock Premier League games, and I'm very excited about
Which are?
Everton versus Southampton.
Yes.
West Ham versus Bournemouth, and Leicester versus Wolves.
You sound a lot like Steve Sidwell.
Which is no bad thing. And to your left, Adam Templeman, great to have you on the show, Temps. Now, you've got an important role because you are social media guru for us today.
Social media guru, that's a nice compliment, yeah. Basically, I will just be taking all of your questions from Twitter, so at us, at Football Daily with the hashtag TheFootballSocial, and I'll also be taking your questions from the live chat as well. So make them good, and I'll pass them over to these guys.
Thank you very much, Temps. Right, let's get straight to our feature game. Let's have a look at the team news. First up, this is the Spurs team.
Come on, then.
Here it is. No, that is not the Spurs team. Here is the Tottenham team. Obviously, this match at Wembley Stadium. Of course, there is the team. Important team news to tell you. Spurs make 2 changes.
Temps is playing up front.
Get in there.
So, yeah.
Come on, the
Yet to be confirmed if Adam Templeman is playing or Harry Kane up front. There we go. 2 changes to the Tottenham side that beat Newcastle at St James's Park last week. Toby Alderweireld, importantly, coming in, and Kieran Trippier come in for Serge Aurier and Moussa Sissoko. Tottenham changing the formation as well, going with 3 at the back. Eric Dyer got a lot to do sitting there. And, of course, Lucas Moura retains his place with Dele Alli in behind Harry Kane. Of course, no Heung-min Son because he is at the Asian Games.
Big miss.
So that is the Tottenham side. We'll talk about that shortly. This is the Fulham team. Now, Fulham team make 3 changes. Timothy Fosu-Mensah makes his Fulham debut. £22 million signing Andre Frank Anguissa starts, as does Abu Bakar Kamara. Out go Christie, McDonald and Schürrle. Steve, exciting front 3 here. Kamara, Mitrovic and Sessegnon. If Fulham are going to have a good season, do you expect those 3 to be a focal part of that?
Them 3 have to be on fire most weeks. You know, watching them last week against Crystal Palace, what worries me is their naivety sometimes on the attack. They commit a lot of bodies forward, so they have to make their chances count, which they didn't last week against Palace. So them 3 have to be on fire.
Tottenham team, you surprised Toby's playing? A lot of Spurs fans might be quite surprised about that because obviously the transfer window is still open abroad. Obviously, it's not in England. And he is one player that hasn't been tied down yet, and I think there was a bit of concern as to whether he'll stay. Surprised to see him starting, Chris?
Well, unless he departed for Manchester United, I didn't think it was an exit for Toby was likely in terms of clubs on the continent, right? I think I'm surprised you didn't go out there and try and sign a forward, especially with Son going to the Asian Games, because for me, Harry Kane is still not fit against Newcastle last week. 2 shots, only 1 on target. This was a guy who was averaging 5 or 6 shots last season in the Premier League, an absolute shot monster, up there with the elite strikers. And he looked a bit off colour, and when he's off colour, you're generally off colour as a team. So, I don't know, I think Fulham stand an outside chance in this game.
Oh, OK, yeah. I mean,
hopefully.
Here is Harry Kane. We can see shots of him warming
tears.
up at Wembley Stadium, of course. Kane, incredible stats last season. Kane scored 40%, 40.5%, in fact, of Tottenham's Premier League goals last season. 41 goals in 48 appearances in all competitions, narrowly missing out on the Golden Boot. Of course, he was the World Cup Golden Boot winner as well. However, in August, Steve, this is a crazy stat that I can't seem to get my head around. He's never scored a Premier League goal in the month of August. And people think, well, how many games has he played? 14 games, 46 shots. What can you even begin to explain that?
I don't know. I mean, is it a hangover from pre-season? I don't think so. But, you know, hopefully he can get on the score sheet today, but not too many against Fulham, please.
Yeah, so we can stop talking about it.
So we can start, yeah, exactly. Very good point. Kane scored first, as you can see there. Some good incentives with our mates from Sky Bet. Was 15-8, is now 5-2. Don't forget, you have to be 18 plus. Full terms and conditions apply. For more information, go to skybet.com. Another Spurs player we've got to talk about, Dele Alli. Scored in 33 different Premier League games and has never been on the losing side. Scored the winning goal last season. How important is he for Tottenham this season, Hamill?
He's an absolute freak, isn't he? I think he's contributed to around 64, 65 Premier League goals at, what, 20, did you say 21, 22? I think that's twice as many as Lampard at that age, way more than Gerrard at that age. So the fact he is so important at such a young age only goes to kind of intimate how mature he is now as a player. And I really admire his flexibility. So he's been coming in from the left recently, hasn't he? He can play as a second striker. He can be deployed a little bit further back should you need it, which you are thin on the ground in terms of midfield cover at the moment, aren't you? If anything happens to Dye, anything happens to Dembele, then you are screwed. But I mean, if Kane doesn't score, it's probably going to be this guy.
Yeah, his goal scoring record is fantastic, as Chris quite rightly pointed out. He's also loves a bit of social media interaction, and he broke the internet this week with this celebration. This is the celebration he did following on from his goal at St James's Park. Now, we're going to go round the sofa to see who can nail this and who can't. But for those of you that can't, Mauricio Pochettino, Spurs manager, has given you a little tutorial into how to do the Dele Alli celebration. This is what he had to say.
Esto, esto, and esto.
There we go. Now we know.
Look at that, 10-second crash course. You got it, Jackson. Because you're not confident, you're rattled, mate.
Big time, one of them ones. What?
We're going to go around the sofas in a bit.
No, you just keep flicking up. I can't
I think Dave Jackson might be struggling. We're going to find out in a bit. Some people are still struggling. Moussa Dembele had an attempt. This is how he got on.
Go on, Moose.
Nailed it.
Smashed it, yeah.
Easy.
So,
what is that?
the question is, Steve Sidwell, can you do the Dele Alli celebration?
Yes, I can.
And can you show it to camera one,
Down there
please?
to number one, Bosh.
Very confident. Yes, we'll give him a yes for that. Chris Hamster-Hamill, can you do it?
Right. Oh. Yeah? All right?
With the lean
Not
back
bad.
as well.
I don't know. You saying what you're saying,
Lean back.
Steve?
He threw a lean back or just like guide it away.
Can you give us a
Victory
rendition
sip.
of it?
You ready? This is easy.
Oh, bit of hesitation there. You let yourself down.
Easy.
Dave Jackson.
Hold on, have you like really done it, Smithy?
After you, Dave, I'm going to have a go.
Hold on, let me hold this one down. There we go. Is that do?
Dave's.
No, I can't do it, Smithy.
And then this is my attempt. Do you know what? Do you know what's interesting about mine is that I couldn't actually do it until I saw Mauricio Pochettino's tutorial.
You're right, that
Very
is
helpful.
very interesting.
That is very... yeah.
Thanks for that, mate.
Let's go to Social Corner. Have we got anything about our feature games so far?
Yeah,
What
we
are people saying? How excited are they?
Everyone's buzzing. We have a question from Max Leslie, who wants to know, if Spurs don't win anything this year, which they won't, will Harry Kane move on?
Oh,
great
pastures
question.
new, Smith. You should go.
That should go straight
Go
for
on,
you.
so repeat that.
If Spurs don't win anything this year, will Harry Kane move on?
Selective
to the
hearing
club?
from you.
Oh, yeah, it's very much so, because I hate talking about this, this topic. There he is, as you can see behind us, Spurs in the tunnel, getting ready to go out, trying to change the subject as much as I can. I'm going to say no, I hope he doesn't. He signed a new contract. I seem to think he enjoys playing for Spurs, but
Real Madrid will be itching for a new number 9.
Do you think he stays?
I think he stays.
Oh, Gareth Bale.
No, I think he stays.
Why do you think he stays?
I think just with the new stadium, the manager. More importantly, is the manager going to stay?
Do you think he'll be a one-club man?
Does he stay?
I don't think he'll ever be a one-club man again.
You don't reckon?
He doesn't ever be a one-club man. Wow.
I honestly don't.
Interesting
The loyalty there is now in football, it's non-existent.
Does he stay if Poch leaves?
Does he stay? Oh, no, see, I'd say a big no if he.
Oh,
That's a good point.
I'd agree.
Are they
Because Lopetegui is primed to be sacked in 6 months' time, I reckon. He's been given an awful set of circumstances at Real Madrid.
Yes, yeah.
Best players departing. Gareth Bale, if he can't sustain, you know, a good run of games throughout the course of the season, they will go back in heavy for a number 9. And what better duo to pinch in world football than Poch and Harry Kane?
It's an exclusive. Heard it here first.
There is an exclusive. The teams are in the tunnel. As
Other
you can
transfer
see.
rumours available.
It is, of course, Wembley tunnel, because Tottenham Hotspur Stadium not quite ready. This was always due to be at Wembley Stadium, interestingly, but it looks like Spurs will be playing at least 2 more fixtures at Wembley
What's
Stadium.
happened with that, Smith?
Let's move on from the Tottenham Stadium chat. It makes me very upset.
I've got a question from Social about that. Should we get into it?
In a minute we will. We're just going around the grounds quickly. These are the scenes. Everton against Southampton. One change for Everton. Mason Holgate comes in for the suspended Phil Jagielka. Yerry Mina, Everton's new signing, not fully fit to play. Interesting. Southampton make 2 changes. In come James Ward-Prowse and Danny Ings, making his first start for Southampton. He starts up front with Charlie Austin. Interestingly, they, of course, played together at Burnley. Out go Yannick Vestergaard and Stuart Armstrong. These are the scenes at Leicester, which you will see shortly. There they are. 4 changes for Leicester City. In come Johnny Evans, which we'll talk about in a minute. A very smaller price tag on Johnny Evans compared to other players. He makes his Leicester debut. Nampy's Mendy, Mark Albrighton and Jamie Vardy start for the first time this season. Out go Daniel Amati, Wes Morgan, Adrian Silva and Iheanacho. Wolves are unchanged from their opening day draw at Everton. Finally, our final 3 o'clock kickoff is at the London Stadium, is of course West Ham against Bournemouth, the Harry Redknapp derby, you could call this one. 3 changes for West Ham. They come in Zabaleta, Snodgrass and Hernandez. Out go Fredericks, Rice and Antonio.
Good for you.
Bournemouth unchanged from their opening day win at Cardiff. There they are. Forever blowing bubbles. There they are. There is Mark Noble in the tunnel. Very focused Mark Noble there, doesn't he? Very focused. Temp, sorry, interrupted you. We can go to social now. Back to you. You did have a question for us.
We'll talk about that lovely question. It's from Yerry. He basically wants to know...
Yerry Mina?
Yeah, it could be. He wants to know whether the stadium disaster is going to affect Spurs' season, or do you think they'll just brush past it and carry on, move on?
That is a good question.
It's a very good question.
Keep them coming.
It's worth updating you on the stadium situation. This game, as I said, was always due to be at Wembley. Spurs, Curtain Razor was meant to be against Liverpool and Cardiff, but both those games have been put back to Wembley. The big issue with the stadium is that the next game, when they're saying that Tottenham Hotspur Stadium should be ready for, is Man City, they haven't actually confirmed that the stadium is going to be ready for that. Ooh. The game doesn't want to be switched as a reverse fixture at Man City, because Pep quite rightly pointed out Man City would then have 3 away games back-to-back at a time when they're probably chasing the title. Wembley is hosting NFL matches, so there is a real issue with the stadium. But does that affect the players, Steve?
Yeah, it does.
It does?
Yeah, of course it does. I mean, as a player, when I was playing, you always wanted to... You knew your surroundings at home, you felt comfortable at home games. Yes, they've done well at Wembley, but they can't keep chopping and changing. They need to get in their house, get it secured.
I like that, in their house.
Get it done. Yeah, that's right.
Surely like Spurs just have to forfeit the game. Yeah, it's as simple as that.
I mean, we've already had a loss of Arsenal bias on the show from Dave Jackson. Is that your thoughts?
If they don't actually have a stadium to play in.
But there's been talks about deduction of points and things like that.
Oh, brilliant. Let's just get this.
That's great. That sounds well interesting.
And as well, if it keeps running over, it's cost £850 million as it is. If it keeps running over, you're going to have to sell Harry Kane next year, right?
Smithy.
Moving swiftly on to the Harry Kane.
Oh, you've got to win this now.
Brilliantly, now we have got an accumulator. So every week on the show, we are going to be doing this. We're going to be predicting or attempting to predict the outcome of the 4 3 o'clock games, which we then put into an accumulator. So this is today's accumulator, which I have quite strong feelings about Dave Jackson in a minute. So I think that Everton will beat Southampton. Chris Hamill thinks Leicester will beat Wolves. Dave Jackson thinks Fulham will beat Spurs.
Definitely.
And Temps has gone for a draw in the West Ham versus Bournemouth game. Now, what we've done is we've put them into a 4-fold accumulator, and you can get odds of 150 to 1 for that with Sky Bet. Don't forget, you have to be 18 plus. Full terms and conditions apply. 150 to 1. Something tells me that's because you predicted the Fulham result.
Yeah, I feel like they'll be well up for it. They'll want to take points off Spurs, and also there was no way I was going to back Spurs on camera, was I? So that's why I'm going for that.
Speaking of backing the team that you have an association with on camera, we can see Steve Sidwell's accumulator. This is Steve Sidwell's accumulator. Again, we asked Steve to pick the results of all 4 games. Now, Steve has gone for an Everton win, a Spurs win against your former side. Steve, do you want to explain that?
I just think they're going to just have a bit too much from. Yes, Fulham are back at Wembley, where they obviously won in the playoff final, but I just think Spurs will just have that bit of quality to take it away from them.
OK, you've also gone West Ham win, and you've gone Leicester versus Wolves draw.
Yep.
Now, interestingly, the odds of that, bearing in mind the odds of our accumulator were 150 to 1. 15 to 1 you can get odds of that, so obviously that's
I think it's a winner.
Popular pick. You think that's a winner?
I think that is a winner.
Which do you think is the hardest to predict of the 3 o'clocks?
The Leicester Wolves. Leicester Wolves.
It's going to be tight.
Leicester Wolves, yeah. I said a draw, but, you know, I think there's going to be goals. Then you've got Vardy, Neves, you know, there's a lot of attacking play there, but we'll see.
Yeah, interestingly, Fulham have only played at Wembley Stadium 3 times in their history. Aston Villa in the Championship player final, of course, today. And the last time losing the 1975 FA Cup final to West Ham. Only the 3rd time ever. Obviously, Spurs have been there many times, as we know.
Did you go to that game?
Did I go to that game? I was away that game, Chris, unfortunately. Good from you.
I'm getting it in the net later.
He is getting in the age chat. I haven't even started on his hair, which has got even more product in than usual. Any more from social? We're going to start with the poll. I know you like the Twitter polls.
I do love a poll. I haven't put a poll out yet, but this question is from Mills, and it's to Sidwell. Who is the best manager you've ever played under?
Oh,
great question.
Oh, the best manager I've ever played under. Steve Coppell was very good at Reading, very successful. Mourinho was great at Chelsea. I can definitely see a difference in him from back then to where he is now. But back then he was fantastic. So yeah, I'd probably say one of them two. Yep.
Nice. What was it like bowling up to Chelsea? Playing with all those, training with all those superstars.
Coming out of Reading, coming out of Reading from the training ground with porta cabins, going to a state-of-the-art fingerprint building on the first day. It was great.
Sounds like you hated it.
Yeah, it was terrible. Obviously it was like, you know, going from like the smallest fishbowl to the biggest ocean, wasn't it? You know, training and being with players that I've looked up to, watched, admired all my career, and then suddenly to share the dressing room with them was like, it was crazy, and obviously the pitch. So yeah, good times.
Does that make you a significantly better player, training with players of a higher calibre?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'll be deadly honest with you. It took me a good 6 to 8 weeks to get to that level, just because the level of the training, the quality of the training, the sessions of what obviously Mourinho was doing as well. But yeah, I mean, if you've got good players around you, it raises your own performance, it raises your game, because you have to adapt to that to get in that team.
Is there anyone that was just an absolute monster in training for Chelsea?
Lampard was a joke every day.
Yeah.
Honestly, he was not just like as in good, but literally just his intensity. He had to be the best. The bar and the standards that he set was just phenomenal. Drogba would sort of flick in and out of training, but you knew when it come to game day, he was there at the forefront. So, yeah, I mean, the list could go on, but Lampsey was definitely top draw.
First chance. All of our 3 p.m. games have just started. First chance in our feature game for Ben Davies, I think that was, on his wrong foot as well. Poor pass from Fulham. They got away with it there. Dave, all your other 3 p.m. games have started as well?
Yes, the West Ham Bournemouth game seems to be very fast-paced. It's very kind of end-to-end already. Everton Southampton, that's a little bit slower. And Leicester Wolves, I haven't actually been watching that one because there's a lot going on in the other 2 games. So, yeah, it's
very honest, Dave.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Let's look at the Spurs Fulham game. There's Mauricio Pochettino there. Steve, great stat for you here. The last time Fulham were in the Premier League, Steve Sidwell played in every single match that season. The only player to feature in all 38 games, and you were top goal scorer for Fulham that season.
But did it say we got relegated?
It does then say they want us to get relegated. I was leaving that bit out. Are you aware of those stats?
Yeah, no, of course I am. Yeah, no, it was personally, it was a great season for me, but you know, on the whole, with going down, it was terrible. So it was bad to see him. Obviously in the Championship for the last 3 or 4 years, but back where they belong now. But, you know, just watching them now, as I said before, about their naivety, playing out from the back and stuff, they just been...
Oh, is it the Wolves just hit the crossbar?
Back to you, Dave. Fill us in, what's happened?
Hit the crossbar. It was a good little bit of build-up play. The ball's kind of like ricocheted back out to the edge of the box. He's hit it first time. I don't know who it was.
Oh, what an effort that was from distance.
And he's hit the crossbar.
Who is that?
Got in that Leicester's right-hand side there.
Starting strongly.
I worry about Leicester's right-hand side now. They've got a more attacking fullback in Pereira.
Great strike that.
I wanted to ask you, just as a follow-on to that, the scenario that Smithy was just talking about. How does it feel knowing that you're playing at your best, but it's still not enough to save you as a team? What did you feel that Fulham team needed to add in maybe the winter transfer window to keep you up, or was it inevitable?
I think as the season went on, it was looking like it was going to be inevitable. Which doesn't help, obviously, is when you have 3 managers. We started off with...
Oh, he's clear off the line.
Martin,
all Wolves, by the way. All Wolves.
Wolves have started very strongly. We'll go to Dave in a minute.
Just 3 managers throughout the season, starting with Martin Jol, René Mullenstein, and then obviously when Felix Magath walked through the door, we was doomed straight away.
Fair play.
Wow, really?
I mean, it was that bad.
Get that cheese on your knee, brother.
The stories that come out, you know, they're all true. But, that doesn't help. But, I mean, there was probably a handful of players in that whole squad that could probably, at the end of the season, look at themselves in the mirror and say, do you know what, I give my all for the season. which just wasn't enough.
Fair play.
Okay, Dave, go to Dave Jackson now. He's watching all of our games.
Yes,
all of
so
our
there's been a
games.
second
Wolves have
chance.
started very strong.
They have started very well. There's no chance for Wolves. There's a nice bit of build-up play down the left, kind of cut the ball back in. And I'll be honest, I think the striker probably should have scored. But it was, I wouldn't necessarily say it was good defending from like Leicester either. It was more like the ball just kind of hit him. So, but yeah, it's all Wolves in that game.
Steve, you're involved in a lot of teams that came up. How does it... Is it a bit surreal watching Fulham come up, watching Wolves come up, spending north of £100 million and making a real good fist of staying up as opposed to, like, being committed to a dogfight?
I think that is now the change and dynamics of where football's going, that to survive, you have to spend. I think gone are the days now where you can really keep the squad that got you into the Premier League. You have to add a bit of quality. In saying that, Brighton kept the majority of their squad last season. Yes, they added a bit of quality, 3 and 4.
Pascal Gross, yeah.
Yeah, Pascal Izquierdo, David Proper, players like that. But when you've got someone like Fulham now that's come up and spent a hell of a lot of money on a lot of players, it's going to take time for them to get used to the philosophy. But you haven't got time in this league. You have to hit the ground running, otherwise you'll get found out.
Yeah, impressed with any of the new signings in particular? As a sort of semi-Fulham fan, yeah.
I like Seri, yeah, the one that's come in.
Nice,
he's a real player.
He's linked with Barcelona about 12 months
ago. The clubs that he was linked with there, Barcelona's and stuff. So they've done well to get hold of him. They got to keep hold of Sessegnon as well. So. Obviously, getting Mitrovic over the line is a focal point for them. So, listen, I've watched them a lot.
Chance for Spurs. Oh! Big chance for
Smithy
Spurs.
had to happen. Lucas
Moura. Lucas Moura. I've tipped to have a big season with Tottenham this season.
I mean, that was...
It has been all Spurs so far. Steve, talk us through this bit of play here.
Well, yeah, big switch out to the right-hand side. Trippier there. Again, defensive, they look all over the place, Fulham.
Lovely ball.
No sort of leadership, no communication. First ball won by Spurs. Second ball won by Spurs. Fired across. Look, no one even there.
That.
I mean, he's rifled that across goal, but still.
In. Lucas Moura with a header from probably about 6 yards out.
Known for his heading, Lucas Moura,
glaring,
obviously.
And it is still 0-0. Spurs have started very strong in this match. Steve, I want to ask you about one of your former teammates, player that you know quite well, Scott Parker.
Yes.
Former Spurs and Fulham, of course.
Oh, Smithy, you're in.
Yeah, this has got...
Run it!
That's
a free kick. Nah, it's
another chance. Harry Kane has
kick.
put the ball in the back of the net for Spurs, but it is August, of course, so the goal won't count. Foul on the keeper.
That was 100% a foul. Is that Lucas Moura overstretching?
Lucas Moura again.
Straight into the keeper's chest.
Was this an easy shot for the first one? No, he's 1-on-1.
Oh, the second touch is hideous.
If he has a better touch, he's in on goal, and it's an easy kind of finish. But look at this big touch there. Look at that.
That is horrible.
Lucas Moura's had 2 big chances. One from 6
that
yards,
could have been nasty as well.
and the other one is a 1-on-1. He's over. Bad first touch.
Again, though, defensively, Fulham again, they're gifting them opportunities and chances of goal. We can't do that in this division.
Do you sort of respect the way they're sticking to the guns, or do you think it's ultimately going to cost them over the course of the season?
I mean, fair play to them. That's their philosophy. They're going to live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yeah.
So.
Jukanovic doesn't strike him as the sort of bloke who's going to change us.
No, and I think it's going to be similar to the way you could talk about Cardiff. The way they're going to come. They're not going to come in and try and play football, are they? They're going to come and stick to the way that they know and get results doing that. So.
It's interesting on that note, Chris. I was watching Cyrus Christie did an interview on Sky Sports News before this game, and he was saying that Fulham have this philosophy where they like to get the ball down and play the right way technically. But they know that against a side like Tottenham, that is difficult. So, sort of going on from what Chris is saying, have you been interested when
they're still trying there, though?
You play a so-called bigger team, you do have to change the philosophy to get a result.
Well, 100%. That is why we love football. You don't want all the teams playing the same tactics, playing the same way. You like seeing how different managers change their philosophy to beat teams. So. You look at Fulham and the way they played. I mean, the way they've been in the Championship, they've been the best team in the Championship probably for the last 3 or 4 years, but they just haven't got up. Now that they have, their football should suit this league. But if they're going to go toe-to-toe with someone like Spurs and other good footballing teams, then they've got to be at their very best to beat them.
Yeah, going back to, I was mentioning Scott Parker, their former teammate of yours, Spurs and Fulham Links, of course, under-18 Spurs coach as well. Did very well for Tottenham's under-18s last season. He is now first-team coach at Fulham. Have you spoken to him?
Yeah, spoken to him. Yeah, I spoke to him when he was at Spurs doing bits there. I was due to actually go and watch a few sessions and go up to the training ground, but he kept it quiet and then he got the move back to Fulham. But listen, a great figurehead to have, obviously back at Fulham, knows the squad very well. All the players look up to him. He's a good go-between probably to have between themselves and the manager. And I think it's a great addition for the club, yeah.
Yeah, corner for Tottenham now. Kieran Trippier had a fantastic World Cup, of course, starting his first Premier League game. Of course, he came back from pre-season quite late, hence why he didn't start in the last match against
Tom
Newcastle.
Kearney, what a lid on him.
Corner for
Tremendous.
Spurs, whipped in. Chance.
Great save. Oh.
Let's go around the grounds now. Dave Jackson is multitasking for us today. He is watching all the other 3 PMs.
Yes.
Dave, what's been happening?
This is a lot harder. Look, this is a lot harder. So all the games, they're about evens. No, I'd say maybe Wolves are definitely the better team in the Wolves at Leicester game.
Yeah.
I've just seen Jack Wilshere kick off with someone, which is nice to see. And Everton, Southampton. Everton probably slightly just about the better team, but very kind of even, really.
Let's talk about Jack Wilshere, you mentioned there. As an Arsenal
I was so gutted to see him go. I feel like, I don't know why, at the very least, give him a new contract and then sell him for 15 million or over to 20 million at the end of next season. I was very, very disappointed to see him go.
Steve, thoughts on Jack Wilshere? Surprised to see him leave Arsenal?
I was, especially the way, the direction that they was going. Obviously, with Wenger leaving and a lot of the back staff leaving. It's that DNA that was sort of being taken away from Arsenal for the last 20 years. You want sort of people there that are going to be fighting for the cause, and I think Jack would have done that.
Yeah.
And now he's gone. It's a shame, but it's good to see him go to a place where he looks like he's settled already.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be a great addition to West Ham. I think he'll play well and hopefully get in the England fold.
You think he'll
I think he
get back in
can.
the squad?
I think he can. Yeah, when he's at the top of his game, he's one of England's best players.
Yeah,
Definitely.
easily.
Hamill, impressed with Spurs so far?
Yeah, you're really getting at them down this right-hand side, which is to be expected. Kieran Trippier, sort of probably your outstanding fullback.
And here he's on the ball now.
Look at that. Sang it into existence for you there, Smithy. But Anguissa, I think, is he number 29? I quite like him. He joined from Marseille. His defensive output was class last season, 4 tackles and interceptions per game.
Yeah.
But he looks like he's having a very tough time at the moment. Obviously, you guys deploy a really good press.
Yeah.
Christian Eriksen is really letting him have it, and he's nicked the ball from him 2 or 3 times there. And like Steve says, Fulham are living very, very dangerously at the moment.
Yeah, he played in the Europa League final as well, didn't he, for Marseille against...
Yeah, he's a good player, I think. Real coup for Fulham. And they've, a bit like Brighton, who you know a bit more about than me, but Fulham have not only spent money, they've made some really savvy signings.
Yes.
They've not overspent, I don't think. A little bit like Brighton when they first came up. Just some people who were statistically good across Europe, not costing an arm and a leg, and I think it will serve them well. Like you said, I think Seri's a standout player. I watched quite a bit of Liga last season because we also run Euro Football Daily. Go on then.
Now, Kane's...
Oh, well won.
It is all Spurs at the minute.
It's very
Another
last
corner
ditch,
for
isn't it,
Tottenham
from
Hotspur.
Fulham?
Another corner.
Very last
You can
ditch.
see why Spurs have gone with that formation, though, like 3 at the back with committing bodies 4, because I think they know that if they come out the traps early doors, they could commit numbers up the field and really pen Fulham back, and that's what it's all been in Fulham's half at the moment.
Yeah.
It has been all Spurs. Kieran Trippier, another corner. How impressed were you, Kieran Trippier?
Really
in the
good.
World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, lucky enough I was to get out there as well, watch the semi-finals.
You watched- yeah, I saw him
I
yesterday,
took my boys out there, and he was one of the standout players, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was fantastic. Scored a great goal, great free kick as well. It's definitely put him on the world stage, let alone the Premier League stage. That's for sure.
It has.
Very... Could
Lucas
have gone
Moore
down
has
there.
actually started well. He's been on the ball a lot. He's missed 2 chances, but he's been very lively. He's a player I think will feature a lot more for Tottenham this season because we miss Heung-min Son's at the Asian Games for another 2 games after this.
Yeah.
Lamella's still coming back to full fitness.
What's the deal
so
with
I think
with
Moore
Son?
will play a lot.
By the way, the Asian Games...
The deal with
there's a
Heung-min
lot
Son-
of rumours circulating. If he doesn't win that, then he has to do military service.
The deal
or
with
something
Heung-min
like
Son
that.
is that
What do you mean? If he doesn't win the tournament?
Yeah, it's genuinely. I've heard some
The deal is that
very
Heung-min
rogue
Son,
rumours.
he misses today, Man United away and Watford, I believe, for the Asian Games. If they win the Asian Games, he is exempt from 21-month military
That's
service
mental.
duty.
That
So
is
if South Korea
crazy.
don't win the Asian Games, he will have to do military service. Interestingly as well, they actually
Surely,
did win
he's
the
their
Asian
poster boy
They
for
actually did
South
win the
Korean
Asian
football.
Games when he was in Germany, playing in Germany, but he wasn't selected.
Oh,
so if he was part of
nightmare.
that squad there, he would be exempt from military service, but he wasn't selected because the club wouldn't let him go. So he needs to win the Asian Games. But he
So
doesn't have to
that's
go
true. That has a bit of credence.
That does, yeah. The story does keep chopping and changes quite a lot. But
Yeah.
obviously all Spurs fans, and that would be a devastating loss.
Oh, no, mate.
Oh.
Big time.
But to be fair to your boy who's coming from PSG, his output was the best it's been last season. No, not obviously the 6 months in which he joined Spurs. But the season before that, Lucas Moura had one of his best campaigns in France.
Yeah.
So I think he's come of age now, hasn't he? What's he, 25?
And also, don't forget, he didn't play much last season.
No.
He hasn't actually had a. This is his first.
I mean, he killed
full
Tranmere,
season.
didn't he? A couple of goals against us.
He had a
Slayed
few in
Tranmere.
League Cup games.
They're in
Another
it.
chance for
Here we
Spurs.
go.
Spurs are in it. It's 2-1. Ericsson slots it through to Kane. This is his first goal in August. He's been pushed. Is that a penalty? Is the ref going to give that as a penalty?
No, he hasn't.
He hasn't given it. Oh.
Wow.
Harry Kane cannot get a break in August.
Kane again. Oh, big shot. Steve, it is all Tottenham. What are Fulham doing wrong here? Is this a case of Tottenham being too good or Fulham being too bad?
Well, I think, as I said there, Spurs have come out the blocks and...
What a ball.
Look at this.
Is this a penalty for you, Steve?
No, weak.
Oh, he looks like he's going down. That's a penalty.
That's a pen for you?
That's a penalty, yeah.
Hammer, what are your thoughts on this?
I want to see it again. I was just saying no to annoy you, to be frank. Not here.
I
Come on,
think, I think that's a
this shot
penalty.
again.
Yes, he looked like he was going down.
Oh, Theo's just banged one in.
The goal, Dave Jackson.
I was watching the Spurs game, but there's going to be a replay in a minute. But yeah, Theo Walcott has just scored it. I've seen him wheeling away. Theo has put the ball in the back of the net. We will see it very
Here it
shortly.
is.
I think she's
Lovely.
Yeah, no, honestly, I'm very, very happy for Theo to get off the kind of like the marks for like the season. I think he was quite kind of like brave to leave Arsenal when he did. He could have easily just sat on the bench for another couple of years and kind of let his contract run out, but he wanted to go and play.
Look at that free kick.
That's
That's
free
good
kick.
free
Yeah,
kick.
we've done him a little bit of a service there.
Look at this. This is straight off the
set
training
piece.
ground.
Touch. And
Who's
bang.
done the
Nice
no-look
finish.
pass to Theo Walcott? Because that is outrageous.
Do you know what, as a player as well, when as a manager, when you set them up on a Friday, the day before a game, as players, you are thinking, this is never going to come off. you are. You're thinking, this is never going to come off. But when it does, everyone there, I mean, if they had a camera there on the bench, you know, you could see, I guarantee you see all the staff there celebrating, because obviously they put their input in it as much as the players. So, but what a goal.
Watching yourself a match a day when one
Similar to England's run of the World Cup. The second
Exactly.
it came out.
Well, I mean, when that come off, everyone was like, "Well, where'd that come from?" But yeah, I mean, when they come off, they're great. When they don't come off, sometimes you can look a bit silly. But
I think I said to you before the show, I think Walcott will have a good season for Everton this season. I think he is a goal scorer when he plays. I can understand him leaving Arsenal, like you said, Dave, but I think for Everton, good player. Injury in one of your games, Dave, is there?
Yes, a Bournemouth player is down. I just from looking at these shots now, I feel like Jack Wilshere may have whacked him, but we will see very soon.
Easy.
It was a yellow card to a Southampton player in there he's basically attacked the Turkish centre forward. I'm not sure his name.
Cenk Tosun, yeah. Is that Stevens?
come from behind, Here
Here we
So
go
only
then.
one
Smith.
goal in our 3 o'clock so far, and that is Everton. Theo Walcott with the first goal of the day in the Saturday 3 o'clock.
Oh.
Going back to the Spurs Fulham game, all Spurs so far.
Ooh,
Getting a lot of joy down the right here, Lucas Moura and Trippier. Whenever we seem to be looking at them, that seems to be where Spurs are getting most joy, Steve.
Yeah, I mean that's an area where Spurs have obviously relished on, isn't it? All down the flanks. They're obviously been focused very much on Fulham's left-hand side this afternoon. So a lot of open chances are coming from there. So Fulham need to, yeah, I mean, this is what I mean. The Spurs are on the front foot. When it gets to Fulham, they don't know what to do with the ball, giving it straight back. So the turnover's there. I mean,
Look at Dele Alli winning that in central midfield.
In an area where
the work rate's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, again, down the right-hand side into more alert.
Last season, I had a look at some of the stats in terms of drop-off and when top teams conceded the most goals, because I was so interested as to are Pochettino's physical demands, do they have an effect on the team towards the end of games? And you actually were pretty weak between 70 and 80 minutes. But now they've had a couple of years adapting to that. I think Spurs have probably one of the fittest, most ruthless squads. Well, starting 11 certainly in the Premier League, but yeah, Fulham might get a bit of joy at the end of the game, was what I was trying to say. Probably not.
Do you know what though? That is key now. That is the difference between the Championship to the Premier League. That is that even when you come under the cosh, you have to stay in the game.
Yeah.
You know, if you go a goal behind, stay in the game. Don't go chasing it, because if you go 2 goals behind, then that's it. You know, you're not going to come back from that too many times. So, yeah, the sign that they're in at the moment, with obviously being penned back in their own half. Shut up shop, you know, weather the storm. You know, if they go a goal behind, you know, stay focused and then go again. But just don't go gung-ho.
Is that the approach your Reading side took when you finished 7th, when you got promoted, the first time
No,
round?
it's not. I mean, it's probably one of them things that you you're still riding that wave of getting promoted and being in the Premier League. I mean, it was different for us back then. A lot of us didn't play in the Premier League, so it was our first season there.
Bit fearless in that regard.
Yeah, I think you've got that sort of naivety and that, as you say, that fearless of just to go out and express yourself. And, but you know, you still got to have that game management where, right, it's not going well for us. Stay in the game, weather the storm. Let's make sure for the 90 minutes we've got a chance to win this game.
Do you think the disparity between Premier League teams and Championship clubs is bigger now than when you were promoted? I actually think the top sort of 6 in the Championship.
Yeah. I mean, you look at some of the teams now in the Championship. There's some huge football clubs.
No, I mean none of the relegated sides last campaign were newbies, were they?
Yeah.
So?
No, they all stayed up, didn't we? Yeah. So. No, I think it's just literally fine tinkering and, as I say, game management and tactics. You know, it's a fine line from winning games to losing or even drawing. And if you adapt to that quickly, the Premier League style of football, then you should be fine.
Talking about adapting, Ryan Sessegnon, unbelievable season for Fulham last season.
What a guy.
16 goals. Still only 18 years old, I believe. Linked with Tottenham as well, of course.
Yeah.
Didn't have his best game. The Wan-Bissaka played very well for Palace last week, I thought. How big a season is he for Fulham? And do you think he's a player that they have to keep hold of? And do you think they will keep hold of him?
Yeah, huge season. I think that could be a blessing in disguise, that first game. I think, you know, that opens his eyes up last week to say, I've not cracked it yet. You know, I've still got a long way to go. And, you know, I think from when that normally happens, you sort of respond to that in a positive way. Yeah. Respond to that in a positive way. But, yeah, I mean, he's key for Fulham this season. Yeah. If they have to keep hold of him, and I think it'd be good for his development of football to stay there and play there as well. He's such a young age, you know. He needs to play football. We
interviewed him the other day. He seems like a really level-headed young guy, and we're asking him who his sort of role models were growing up, or players who he aspired to be, and he said Gareth Bale and Luke Shaw.
Did he?
So I thought it was an odd combination, but that's obviously that left-sided player.
That's because he can relate to that area.
Moving forward, that transition from going from left back to. But were you surprised?
He's another chance. He's at the post.
You might have the inside track a little bit more on Fulham, but are you surprised at his development, the way he's kind of rose to superstardom?
Well, they always say if you're good enough, you're old enough. And only if he's shown that at such a young age, then it was only going to be a matter of time before he got an opportunity. You know, obviously when they're in the Championship and he's doing well. As you can see there, you know, he can just carve a chance out of anything, and that's where you want to see him in the opposition's box.
It's been all Spurs, but Fulham sort of on the counter attack there. I think that's Tom Cairney into Ryan Sessegnon, and he gets. Is that an appeal for a penalty there, Steve? Do you think?
No, I think he's just. I think
Davis shot by him.
Yeah, he's chopped it inside. I think he's just lost his footing, but he's done well to get the shot off. But again, you know, that is Fulham. You know, they could be under pressure, but they've got that ability and pace and presence up top that they can carve out chances.
Is Mitrovic starting? I've not seen him. In my
I don't think the Fulham players have seen him either in the opening.
Must be a nightmare if you're a target man playing in a game like this.
Worst one ever without a goal, Hamill. 5 games without a goal.
Oh, God. What was it?
There's been an incident at
12 goals?
Everton, Dave Jackson.
It was actually at Wolves. Wolves hit the post once again. But I believe in the Everton game,
and there's never
the French midfielder, Schneiderlin. Is he French? Or
he is.
He's French, yes.
He's going to be coming off injured. I think they've just waved to the bench. He'll be definitely coming off.
OK, let's go to social corner. Temps, what have you got for us?
Yeah, I've put a poll out. This is just based on the Leicester-Wolves game. Obviously, you said it's the hardest one to call.
Yeah.
Majority of people going
he's through again.
for Leicester City to win. It's 40. Wolves have got to score soon. But a social I've got is from
Sorry, let's just stop you there. Big chance at Christian Eriksen, Steve.
Probably one of the best looking defenders in football.
Another great cross-in from Trippier, Alli.
But then again, you know, look, Spurs are on the attack. Fulham have committed numbers forward. Kearney's backtracking there. He's lost his man, Eriksen.
And Gisa again can't keep hold of him.
It looks a little bit disjointed on the Fulham side of it. They don't know they want to play away, but they're getting closed down very well on the turnovers. Spurs are making their first pass forward, which is getting straight at Fulham's defence. So, you know, they've just got to stay in the game. Hopefully, just weather this storm, get to half-time.
Till half-time, yeah. The positive is,
100%.
if it is 0-0 at half-time, you'd imagine Fulham will change something, won't they?
You'd like to think so, but knowing the manager and his philosophy and the way he wants to play, you never know.
Tim, sorry, back to you.
No worries. The question is from Henry, who says, which player impressed you the most last weekend, as in which debut was the most
Which
impressive?
day? I thought Richarlison had a
Yes.
great debut himself.
very good.
It wasn't his debut, but it was his first Premier League appearance. Ruben Neves is a player that I've been raving about for ages from his appearance last year in the Championship. I was very impressed with Ruben Neves. Richarlison are two that spring to mind. Steve, any others?
No, Richarlison, I mean, for him, I think more so just he stands out just because of the price tag. Richarlison,
Yeah.
you know, with Everton, you're right what you're saying there.
Oh,
he's
is
used
it
to
the post?
Premier League
The-
football,
again.
but
Is it
you know,
a
for a
crossbar?
debut for that fee,
Yeah.
a new club, that's what you want to do. You want to hit the ground running.
Yeah, interestingly, Richarlison, he scored 2 goals in his first 2 shots for Everton. Compare that to when he was at Watford, failing to score with any of his last 53 shots as a Watford player. Sometimes you go to a club and it just works. And
Well, I mean,
Silva's getting the best out of him.
he started on fire, didn't he, when he was at Watford, and then
Yeah.
he went missing, didn't he, after sort of November time, was
Correct.
it? But
Just coincidentally when the Portuguese manager left.
when he left, yeah. But is that going to be the same this year? We never know.
Dave, another incident off the post.
Yes, well, yes, Southampton had a strike. Jordan Pickford's had a bit of a nightmare. He's basically fumbled it out, went straight to Danny Ings, and Danny Ings has missed from about 2 yards.
Oh,
He definitely should have scored.
did he
He's
say
got a
to get a hand
save on
to it?
that. He's got a save on that.
I think
he might have got a hand to that.
Pickford's done ever so well.
He's had a lot to do.
Danny Ings. Good signing that for Southampton.
Great
chance.
signing.
Yeah.
Great signing, yeah. Really like him.
Going back to your earlier question, Smith, I was impressed with Guendouzi in his opening game against Manchester City. He had a rough first 20 minutes for Arsenal. I don't think Xhaka did him any favours. But the young Frenchman just grew into the game, like I said, and I was actually really impressed with him second half. Always providing Arsenal's sort of defence with options. Czech gave him a couple of hospital balls, but he looks like he's going to be
I think the thing I really
combative little
really
player.
liked about him is, as you say, he had a bit of a tough first 20 minutes, but he never went missing. He
Nah,
could
but
have easily
he
just gone.
can't-
He
you're
could have gone missing in that game.
I think
He's young,
sometimes,
you know.
though, that it helps with when you're young, because obviously you
got
don't
the fear,
get
don't you?
that
Yeah.
threat, that sort of
But he
feeling where you're under that so much pressure.
Yeah.
You are under pressure, yes, but you're thinking, you know, I can do this.
Yeah.
I remember playing when I was a youngster. You just go out there with all sort of inhibitions are just lost. You just
No
go out there
fear.
and you just go out and you just play.
I suppose to do that against Pep's Manchester City was the more impressive thing, right? Because there was on that left-hand side they were just getting murdered, and I mean, I think it was better when Lacazette came on. I think they definitely you took the game to Manchester City for 20 minutes after half-time, but I think Lucas Torreira and Guendouzi will be an interesting
See how they kind of-
midfield partnership to observe this season.
So it is all Spurs at the minute. It's still 0-0. Interestingly, down there, as you can see on your screen, Kane and Alli to score. Both of them scores at 4-1. That is with our mates at Sky Bet. Don't forget, you've got to be 18 plus. Full terms and conditions apply. Chance for Bournemouth, Dave?
No, it wasn't, mate. I guess it was. It was a really good save by Lucas Fabianski. Yeah, very good save.
It's a big chance, a 1-on-1.
Yeah, I was watching the other one.
That's a lovely
This
ball.
is a lot
Look at
harder,
this
it
ball.
looks, you know.
Yeah.
Trying to
That
follow
is
all the
such
games.
a good ball.
Oh, what a
Good,
Yeah, he should have
good
scored,
save, though, Dave.
Should have scored. That's a very good
Yeah,
save.
it's a
Massive strong hand down to his left.
Good tackle.
So still only the 1 goal. That is Theo
Look at
Walker.
Vertonghen's making that tackle on the pitch against Ryan Sessegnon, 15 yards into the opposition half.
Yeah, our player of the season for me
Brutal.
last year. Jan
Yeah?
Vertonghen had a fantastic season for Tottenham.
He hadn't scored in ages before last week, had he?
No, but Jan Vertonghen's had a lot of really unlucky goals that have been disallowed from deflections that haven't gone his way, offside goals wrongly awarded. So it's actually quite ironic that he got given a goal that,
But on the watch.
without the
Yeah.
watch, probably wouldn't have been given. I think it was 9 millimetres over the line. So thank goodness for that. Any other questions from social, Tim?
Yeah, this one is for you, Sidwell. It's from Kay Jones. He says, do you have any plans to become a manager one day?
Good question.
Very good
I
question.
am currently doing my A licence,
Cool.
so that should be completed by the end of the year. I am looking to go into coaching. So coaching, obviously, and I think the way you've got to do it, sometimes I think you need to go down into the academy to earn your stripes and learn the trade, and then, yeah, hopefully one day I'd like to follow the steps of the Steven Gerrards and Frank Lampards and go into management.
What would be your ideal job?
As in club-wise?
Club-wise.
Wow.
Real Madrid?
Yeah.
Lopetegui go?
It's that dream job anymore.
Says how you doing?
I don't know. Is there a dream job? If you asked any sort of manager out there, they all hate it by the sounds of it. They're on their mobile all the time. They're babysitting 25 grown men, grown footballers.
But that's what you want to do, yeah?
Would you mind,
Yeah, I mean that's what I want to do. Yeah.
would you mind trying your hand at a much lower level? So we see a lot of ex-players come in at sort of Championship level, League One level. It's quite a tall order.
No, I think sometimes I said there you have to go down. Oh, chance there for
Chance
Fulham.
for Fulham.
Come on, Fulham.
Is that Kearney there pulled back to the edge of the box and Low,
getting back into this game a bit, Steve.
Great save there.
Great ball whipped in.
Ooh, back post. Is that Kearney picking it? No, it's not Kearney picking it up.
That was a chance there.
That's Mitrovic.
Obviously, last time he was at Wembley as well. He scored in the playoff final.
Here's the replay. Talk us through this, Steve.
Yeah, balls sit back on the edge of the box. Good technique.
Ooh, good effort.
Down. Good save though.
Yeah.
From Lloris.
Nice strike, isn't it?
That must be. I think that's Fulham's first shot on target.
Oh, must be one of the first.
Leicester have scored.
Yes.
I think Leicester scored. I don't know if it's been disallowed. I think it's good. It's good. Yeah, it's good goal.
Yes, get in the
No,
Foxes.
hold on. No. I've got a feeling maybe. Mark Alberton.
Jacko, will you just commit, please?
Is it an own goal?
I'm just
Yes.
trying to
Oh, that is an goal. I've never seen it.
Oh, that's
What a header that is.
Oh, wow.
It's been all Wolves, Dave, hasn't it?
Oh, he's had a nightmare.
wow.
Yeah, the Wolves
just
right
pulled
back
that in.
has had an absolute nightmare here. He cannot have been looking where he was going to be honest.
To be fair, I don't think he can do anything about that. It's took a deflection there off
Yes,
his,
it has.
and
Seen
then
it late.
straight onto his head.
It's a beautiful header.
Straight on his thrust,
Great
isn't it?
finish.
So it's now 1-0 Leicester.
And that's
We've now got
Leicester's
2
first
goals.
chances, Dave. You were saying earlier Wolves have started that game very well.
100%. But I think there's probably still a few more goals to come in that particular game. Definitely.
Well, Brighton's delivery always causes...
I've got to say that, yeah, I was at Aston Villa with Michael Brighton, and he is undoubtedly one, and I say this with you know, I'm not saying this lightly, his delivery is one of the best in the Premier League.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah,
I believe
he can cross the ball. I mean,
perfectly.
whether it's from a standing position, whipping it around, on the run, whipping it, standing it up, he's got every type of
chance of West Ham.
It reminds me a little bit of, maybe not as, he's not as talented as James Milner, but he has that sort of skill set where it's maybe a little bit underappreciated. He's got a great motor, his defensive output's really good.
Underrated,
His amount of chances he creates per game is really good.
And
It's a goal. It's a second goal.
Richarlison.
Richarlison has scored again.
Dave, the player that we've
3 in 1.
singled out,
Three in
Richarlison
sorry.
again.
In fact, only 5 minutes ago, he was actually down injured. It looked like he might have to come off, but now he's back up and he scored the second goal for Everton. And there's an incident at West Ham where I think there might be a penalty, where the referee originally said no penalty, but now he's talking to his linesman, and I think it may going to be given right now. So it might be a penalty to West Ham. If you come back to me in a minute, I might be able to let you know.
Let's have a look at that, Richard.
We're going to stay with you, Dave, because they're just showing a replay of the Everton goal.
He's given a penalty.
Oh, good.
It's a really good, to be fair,
Walcott again.
Yeah, so he's got a goal and an assist, Mr. Theo Walcott. He's just gone down the right, swing the ball in, and Richarlison's got his bonce on it. And I believe now it is actually going to be a penalty to West Ham. It was a beautiful through ball.
Don't come off for Southampton.
Chicharito. Yeah,
it's definite penalty, and I'm really pleased to see the referee's actually kind of gone back on what his original decision was. So I don't know who'll take the pen. Probably Chicharito.
Was Aki diving in?
On Arnautovic.
Oh, yeah.
It's a definite penalty. I think we all agree.
Yeah.
That is Aki on Hernandez. Definitely does not get the ball. The referee. Well, the decision's been made. It is a penalty. Dave, let's stay with you for it as you talk over the pen.
So Arnautovic stepping up.
Arnie.
Beautiful bleached hair.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
He's just he looks like very calm actually. I think he's going to score. He's going to put this.
I think it's going to be saved.
I mean, West Ham probably deserve a bit of a break after getting absolutely pummeled by Liverpool last week.
I was obviously up at Stoke for a year and a half, nearly 2 years, and played with Arnie, and I've got to say the talent.
Okay.
Here we go.
He scored.
Oh!
What
Great
a
penalty.
left-hand corner, beautiful penalty. All he can do is score from that.
Do you think he's making good on that promise he had then finally?
Yeah, listen, the talent that this boy's got, he can go to the very top, and I think he proved that at Stoke. He lost his way a little bit towards the end, I think, because he wanted to get that move away, and I think West Ham's been the perfect club for him because he feels like he's the top man there, and he's playing up to that as well. So
who'd have thought that David Moyes would have resurrected his career? Come on.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Did he need that, do you think? You said about his talent there, but he felt he needed to be sort of loved and wanted to be the main man at a club.
Yeah, I think he got that, definitely got that at Stoke with Mark Hughes. I think he grew up at Stoke. Right. I think that was his transitional period where he become the person that he should be and the player that he should be. But he was always destined to go that next stepping stone up. Not to say that West Ham is a stepping stone up, but you know, he's the stepping stones to get to the very top. And if he carries on performing up the way he's done, I think he was linked to Man United, was he not? I think.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
In pre-season
Although
as well.
I think
so
Mourinho was
trying to buy anyone.
Yeah.
There are a lot of players linked to Man United.
Yeah. I mean,
a fair amount of games. Yeah.
In fairness, though, he's got the ability to go to the very top.
So
and it seems now he's got the attitude to do it as well.
So you think there's a more to come, so to speak?
100%.
Decent.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Social Corner. Temps. A lot of goals just gone in recently in the Premier League. What's the reaction on social?
goals. I haven't been looking at social, unfortunately. I've just grabbed a question quickly.
OK.
Which is from Oysen, who says, who do you think will be relegated this season?
Definitely.
What are your tips?
Huddersfield. They're definitely going
Do you
down.
reckon? I think Cardiff.
Cardiff
100%,
struggle.
yeah.
Nailed on.
Huddersfield and Cardiff, I think, will struggle. Any others, Steve, for you?
I was going to say Cardiff, Huddersfield. I've got a feeling there's going to be a surprise this year. I think there could
Man
be...
City. That would be a big surprise,
Not that
isn't
big a
it?
surprise.
I think after Huddersfield and Cardiff, there's a group of 3 or 4 clubs who are on an even keel. Watford being one, Bournemouth being the other, and the last one eludes me. But
No, I think Fulham will stay up. I think Wolves will stay up.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it could be the likes of a Watford, possibly a Bournemouth. But I don't know. I think the season might just throw something in a little surprising.
Chance for Spurs. Oh, Ericsson
the
free
shot.
kick, carried out.
well, you'd have thought after the business that Newcastle conducted, that they've kind of put themselves right back in the frame.
Yeah.
Or lack of business, so to speak. But
Ericsson Edge lined up as though he was going to sort of just cross the ball,
Yes,
didn't he?
didn't he?
Just-
That's right.
Instant at Leicester
Tried to
game.
trick the
He's
keeper.
been, Mark
Go on, Dave.
Albrighton has, or whoever number 10 is.
James
That's
Maddison.
James Maddison.
James
I
Maddison
believe.
has whacked a Wolves player straight in the boat. It's really bad.
in the boat race.
It's bad.
Let's have a look at this.
Oh
again.
dear.
Is that a sending off or?
I don't know if it was actually. Oh, I don't know. Like
Was it with the ball?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like as he's. I don't know. Like 'cause obviously.
Is it one of those get off me
Yeah.
sort of?
But if.
Oh, it's an elbow to the face. Interesting to see whether that's... It's an elbow to the face. I don't think that's... Is that intentional, Steve? I think that red card would be very harsh there.
I feel like he's anticipating a bit of contact there. I'm
I
not.
think, yeah. I think he's looking, knowing that contact's going to come, he's looking to possibly shield and get his body in.
Yeah.
But it looks worse from that angle. It doesn't look too bad, but from the other angle, you see, I think he's as you're right, he's anticipating.
Yeah, the contact.
It never is to come round the other side for the contact. He's trying to get his body in or just sort of.
Not the most aggressive player is James Maddison.
No.
Another creative number
Interesting
10.
to see what the ref does here, Dave. Let's stay with you, Dave. What is...
I don't think he's been booked. I think he's just seen it as like accidental. But also in the Everton Southampton game, it looks like Rickarlson was going to be coming off. I don't think he's been able to shake off that injury.
Oh, that's not good. Interesting stat about him that I just found on Twitter.
Go
he
on.
has scored with every shot for Everton so far. So he's
Yeah.
had 3 shots, 3 goals.
3 shots, 3 goals. Amazing.
Very clinical, you might say.
Ooh, almost a lovely ball there. Was that from Dele Alli? Little flick.
So it's still
How
0-0
tenacious he is.
in our feature game, Tottenham against Fulham. While there's a quiet moment, we can update with a few scores in the Championship. Middlesbrough 2-0 up against Bristol City. Britt Assombalonga has just scored the second there. Aston Villa, one of your former clubs, Steve, 1-0 up at Ipswich. Jonathan Codger with a goal. Frank Lampard's Derby 2-0 down already after 20 minutes against Millwall. So
Yeah, that was always going to be tough.
not
Well, my
gonna be
boys
Lee
Brentford.
Gregory and Sean Williams.
Brentford on Football Manager. So.
Sheffield United 1, Norwich 1, Jordan Rhodes scoring again, West Brom 1, QPR 1, Wigan 2, Nottingham Forest 1.
not playing.
Interesting for Frank Lampard, started so well, but then obviously the results at Leeds last week, Millwall.
Leeds are
2-0
rolling
down
everyone
after
over, aren't
20
they?
minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
Millwall's a bit more damning, but Leeds are.
yeah, I mean that's always going to be a
looking
hard
good to
game at
start the
Millwall today. But I think just Derby in general. I mean, it was a big ask for Frank to go there. Fair play
Yeah.
to him for taking the job.
Yeah.
I just think that they've got the players to do it, but for me, they just don't seem like they've got the real commitment to get over the line. They just seem as though they're happy to play in the Championship.
Yeah,
they're on
some-
big money.
Yeah, they're always in the playoffs and never
Some
quite...
seasoned
Yeah.
managers have come and gone there, haven't
Yeah.
they? Clement,
McLaren.
McLaren
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
I don't know who's in between, but yeah, Lampard, it's by no means an easy job, is it? They kind of always seem to disappoint towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
So what do you make of the Championship this season? Who's your faves to go up? So it's looking pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in the Championship for the first time in a long time, actually.
Yeah.
Bielsa being at Leeds, I think that's pretty cool.
Yep. Leeds have started, started very well, haven't they? Yeah, I
Only
think,
0-0 at Rotherham, at Leeds against Rotherham. that-
yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, no, I think Leeds will be there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
As I said before, you've got some massive clubs now, massive teams in the Championship. All will be wanting to apply their trade back in the Premier League where they feel like they belong. And I think you'll just have the same teams, or they'll be there or thereabouts throughout this season. I'd like to see Villa back up. Football clubs like Leeds.
Yeah.
I think Birmingham could even go on a good run. I know they've got a sticky patch with obviously the
they actually
transfer
battered Swansea
saga.
yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's
So-
finished 0-0, but I watched the highlights.
Yeah.
And they could have put
I think
3 or 4 past
again, like the Championship, you haven't got to be good from the start. As long
Yeah.
as you're in that
On a
sort of
run.
chasing pack by Christmas, January, it's then where teams kick on and really show their worth.
Ooh,
Another chance for Spurs.
Rasper.
There seems to be a lot of half chances for
Toby Alderweireld taking
Toby
that shot from
Alderweireld.
20 yards, obviously. What's going on?
Tottenham to win 2-1 is now 9-1 with Sky Bet. They've had a lot of chances, Spurs, haven't been able to put the ball in the back of the net. That is at 9-1 with Sky Bet.
How's the performance
apply.
feel as a fan, as opposed to a pundit at the moment? Are you a little bit frustrated?
You know
You're not
what?
putting them to the sword yet?
It's quite Spursy, if I'm honest, Ham, in that a lot of games that I see Spurs with Mauricio Pochettino's work ethic in the high press, the fitness levels, and the chances we create are always there. Spurs create so many chances, but we haven't been clinical enough. Wow.
Big chance for Fulham.
Good save. We haven't been clinical enough.
That's his second good save,
That's
Lloris.
happened a lot last season. We create a lot of chances, but we've not been clinical enough.
Oh, for goodness.
When Harry Kane isn't firing all cylinders, Spurs sometimes struggle to score. We create a lot. We've got a lot of midfield creators, but when he's not on form in terms of being clinical and scoring goals, we sometimes do struggle.
Son that got you out a couple of tough spots last season, and Ali.
A chance for Fulham as well.
Great ball from Seri. He looked like
not a bad touch.
Not a bad touch from Sessegnon. Lloris again. That's what he's known for. How quick is he to get off his line?
Brilliant. Yeah.
You know, his shot stopping is phenomenal.
Who's the best keeper you played with?
The best keeper I've played with.
Talking about Schwarzer off camera, you're saying he's a bit of a beast.
Yeah, Schwarzer was a
Eating
beast.
steak for breakfast.
I think Schwarzer. I think he's all round. I mean, he weren't a great kicker, Schwarzer, but you know, in terms of leaders on the pitch and commanding his box and his team and shot stopping as well, fantastic. Petr Cech obviously speaks for itself. The way he was at Chelsea at the time there. You know, I've been sort of played with Brad Friedels.
Tough question.
Yeah,
Brad Friedel, Petr Cech, and
there's been some good ones. I'd say Petr Cech was probably the best. I mean, I think that at the time then as well at Chelsea, he's probably playing his best football. I mean, he's got the record for clean sheets, I think, in the Premier League.
And what is it like watching him now, trying to play the ball out in Unai Emery's system?
It's a little bit. No disrespect to Petr, but he's a great man and a phenomenal goal. That's his strong point, you know. Yes,
he could ever be able to adjust, or
listen, you can. If he's definitely got the attitude to work on it. Listen, I'm not saying he can't do it. He can do it. I don't think he can do it to the better capabilities that other goalkeepers have got out there, because you see goalkeepers coming through now. They can play with their feet more than they're better with their hands.
It's a big difference with the modern day goalkeepers, isn't it? And the goalkeepers.
Well, they're used now they have to be a sweeper now. You know, the way that they start and build up attacks. You know, it's not just about coming out, claiming a cross and keeping the goal safe and keeping clean sheets. You know, it's about being on the attack in front as well. So
chance for Spurs again. Ericsson.
Square it.
Out to Trippier. Big chance for... just Tottenham can't seem to hit the back of the net.
Oh, trips.
Trippier.
Ericsson. Dave Jackson puts it over.
All Spurs.
It is all Spurs at the minute. But they can't seem to score, Steve. Frustrating for me.
No.
I'm quite enjoying it, Steve. I don't know about you.
I'm enjoying the game. I mean, it's a good response from Spurs. You know, Fulham down the other end, literally, a minute, 2 minutes to go, having a chance, and Spurs straight down the other end and having 3 or 4 half chances. So
this is a side that averaged 60% possession last season, Fulham, and it's nice to see them do this side of the game as well. You kind of, if you're a fan, I know it's probably a little bit tense, but maybe quite buoyed by the fact that they are getting down and dirty, really.
Yeah, I mean, on the whole, it looks like it's a bit disjointed, but they're throwing bodies on the line for the cause. But how long can they keep this up? That is the question, because Spurs surely can't keep knocking on the door and having no answers at the moment.
Yeah, we are approaching half-time. 42 minutes gone, a lot of the games. Quick update from around the grounds. Everton 2-0 up. Great start from Everton. Theo Walcott and Richarlison with the goals there. Leicester against the run of players, Dave Jackson said. 1-0 up against Wolves. Matt Doherty with the own goal. Tottenham Fulham, our feature game, still 0-0. West Ham 1-0 up at Bournemouth. Marco Arnautovic. And the early result today, Cardiff 0, Newcastle 0. First point for both sides. Kennedy missing a 96th-minute penalty.
Hopefully the best is yet to come. That could have been a massive 3 points as well for Newcastle.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're the games that you're thinking you want to take the points off of teams that are probably going to be close to you around that back end of the season. It looks like they're going to be down the bottom part. So if they could have got the 3 points off them today, then it's a huge, huge win for them.
I think, fortunately for Newcastle, there's teams that have as much talent as them that could go down, but Rafa Benitez, the job he's done at that club, for them to keep them competitive despite that squad, like the line is being led by Joselu, who's never scored double digits in his career. All due respect to him, like at various points, it's like a proper cart horse, doesn't it? And like, yet
Oh, what a goal!
What
What a
Steve
finish!
Sidwell, talk us through
my
a player
God.
that I called before the game to have a big season. Lucas Moura, as I said,
gotta say.
gets his first Premier League goal.
What a
Finish.
goal,
Talk us
mate.
through it, Steve.
Well,
Foot, Lucas.
he's had chances. He's been involved in a lot of their attacking play so far this half. But you've got to say, he's guided that ball into the back of the net. Good build-up play again down the right-hand side. Ericsson break into the box, comes out to the edge of the box,
clearance.
and he just left foot, right foot around it and curls it beautifully.
What's the defender doing there, Steve? I suppose he's not really got much.
He's just he's used the bodies there of the defenders of the Fulham defenders and just guided it round them all into the far corner. Keeper's got no chance, absolutely no chance.
I'm just pleased because on so many live streams I've said Lucas Moura's going to have a big season for Tottenham, a big season. He was so exciting in pre-season and towards the back end of last season. And I think he offers Tottenham something completely different to the other players. And he's got pace and he runs at players. And the other three that we usually play in that position, the Allis, the Ericssons, are good on the ball, but we haven't really got a player with that pace. Do you know what I mean? So it'd be great to see. Great to see him get his first Premier League goal. And also, Trippier again. Great play from Trippier down the right.
Yeah, as we've highlighted this whole first half, all the players come down the right-hand side. Looks like something that they've obviously been working on.
for Leicester.
Yeah.
Oh, goal for Leicester.
Madison, Dave Jackson.
Come on, the Foxes, get in there.
Okay, so yeah, I was actually watching a West Ham game, but yeah, he's basically taking a touch. He's got the ball on the edge of the area, taking a touch ball in, and he's basically it's almost like he's passed it in. It's absolutely beautiful.
He's a really cultured little player.
Yeah.
He's played really well at Norwich towards the tail end of the whole of last season, actually. I think he was one of the most creative players in the Championship.
Yep.
Double digits goals and assists.
I was just about to say, when we had the chat earlier about players that impressed on the opening day, he's someone we should have mentioned.
100%, yeah, we forgot all about him. I think it was obviously because it was a Friday night game.
Oh, a little deflection,
Dodgy deflection.
But no, when I was at Brighton, we had a warm-up game against Norwich in pre-season, and he bossed it. I know it's a pre-season game, but he stood out, and you could really see he's got the quality to step up into the Premier League, and he's done that. He's scored today. He's played very well up at Old Trafford.
Yeah. And he's got a Chris Hamill-like hairline as well.
Yeah.
A lot of products.
Extremely good-looking chap. Ruthless, some have said.
I thought you'd
but
be...
he went on loan to Aberdeen, and I'm a Celtic fan, and when he played against us, I was like, well, OK, this is embarrassing. He's already one of the best players in the league, and he's come as like a 19-year-old loanee from... I can't remember who his parent club was at the time, but, yeah, been on the radar for a long time, and he's making good on his talent now, isn't he?
Oh, another player.
We should be watching this game anyway. What's going on?
With all the bit of negativity we're saying about how we think Cardiff will struggle, talking about players that have done well in the first few games, Neil Etheridge, only the second goalkeeper to save a penalty in both of his first two Premier League appearances ever after Eric Torsfeld. I mean, I know that the odds are against Cardiff.
Yeah.
He's done no harm.
Well, I mean, I was with Neil at Fulham. He was at Fulham when I was there a few years back. I think he probably made a handful of appearances, but wasn't going to get in front of the likes of Mark Schwarzer, Stecklenburg, David Stockdale. So he was always one to watch for the future. He's gone elsewhere, plied his trade, done very well. Done well at Cardiff last year, obviously in the Championship, and then got off to a stormer in the Premier League. Yeah. So, yeah, fair play to him.
Good to see. Another chance for Spurs. Trippier's getting a lot of the ball down this right-hand side, struggling to keep that in play as we are just approaching the half-times.
Who's on the left in that 4-3-3 for Fulham? Because
around the Premier League.
Whoever it is clearly not helping the full-back out.
Yeah, Spurs are getting a lot of joy down the right-hand side, that is for certain. Lucas Moura and Kieran Trippier seeing a lot of the ball.
Seri, maybe? Seri's much more attack-minded than anything else. His defensive output wasn't great.
Now, half-time in the West Ham game.
Yep.
So it's 1-0 West Ham in that one. I think the half-time whistles are just about to go in the other two games, actually. Oh, and it's now half-time in Everton, Southampton, and Leicester Wolves still playing, but there can only be about 30 seconds left.
Everton
There's
very
a chance to...
confident.
he skied it. There was a chance of Wolves at the end there, and he's not made the most of it, really, Costa.
Everton been the most impressive of all the teams so far, Dave?
Yeah, I think they've they didn't start particularly well, but then once they got the goal, they've basically been kind of like the only team in it, really. West Ham have actually played well. Bournemouth haven't really had much of a sniff, although they did have a chance, like around about the 40th minute mark, when the ball was kind of looped in, and then the attacker, he's just basically left it. He, instead of actually attacking the ball, he's kind of tried to let the ball hit him.
And it is half-time in our feature game as well at Wembley Stadium. Tottenham Hotspur lead Fulham 1-0. Steve, very disappointing half for Fulham. That they're fortunate to be going in at 1-0 down, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they'll be happy to go in at 1-0 down. You know, it could have been...
Poch isn't happy.
No.
Not happy. Very rare to see Poch that animated, actually.
Harry Kane penalty, maybe?
Is he complaining about the penalty, do you think, in that instance? It's very rare to see Poch that animated at half-time.
Not much else has happened,
Still
has it?
going on
Really?
about it.
No, he'll be happy with the way his team's played. As I said, they come out of the traps from the very start, put Fulham on the back foot, and they've really answered questions, chances. And it was only going to be a matter of time before there was a goal. But what a goal it was! Great finish to break the deadlock.
Yeah.
But the Poch is definitely not happy. He's still going way down the tunnel.
Still talking to Anthony Taylor, the ref, all the way down the tunnel, very animated, not happy. I can only assume it's about that penalty incident. But Spurs do find themselves 1-0 up.
And it's now half-time in the other game, so Leicester-Wolves 2-0 to Leicester.
These are the scenes at Everton. Everton, as Dave Jackson quite rightly said, very comfortable against Southampton. Richarlison with a goal, Theo Walcott with a goal and an assist. They lead Southampton 2-0. Very comfortable for them. The other games, half-times around the games now. Leicester City, 2-0 they lead. Wolves started very well, hit the bar, all the posts, I think 2 or 3 occasions, but Leicester find themselves 2-0 up. Matt Doherty with an own goal and James Maddison. So that is 2-0 there. Right, so it is half-time. We can have a look at how our accumulator is getting on. This is what we said. I said Everton, and like all of my predictions ever, that is going to plan. Everton are comfortably beating Southampton 2-0. Chris Hamill said Leicester. So Chris Hamill, as he said as well, Leicester will beat Wolves. That is going very comfortably. Dave Jackson, as we thought, who's gone for Fulham against Spurs.
Well, there's still another 45 minutes in there. There's still another 45 minutes.
Spurs lead 1-0, and Temps draw in the West Ham-Bournemouth game. Obviously, that game is still open.
Still a tight game.
West Ham lead 1-0. So 2-0 to Everton, 2-0 Leicester, 1-0 Spurs, 1-0 West Ham. Go to skybet.com to have a look at any more accumulators. Right, earlier on in the week, I caught up with James Milner up at Melwood to find out about his dream five-a-side team. Here's what he said. James, we're going to pick your dream five-a-side team based on all the players you've played with in your career. Now, I've been doing my research. This is going to be pretty tough, isn't it?
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think 5's probably not enough, but I'm going to upset a few people, I'm sure. There'll be plenty who probably should be in there and aren't. And, probably to keep the morale in the dressing room, I'll probably have to leave out my current teammates as well, because I don't want to upset anyone, so I might do it from players before.
OK, so just to confirm that, you're leaving the current players out because you don't want to upset them?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Well, it's tough, innit? Obviously, we've got the most expensive defender in the world, the most expensive keeper in the world, and people like that, so I don't want to be causing rifts in the dressing room.
OK, so dream five-a-side before this current Liverpool squad?
Yes.
Formation, what are you going for?
A GK, a defender, a midfielder and 2 strikers. It's all about scoring goals. Yeah, it's all about scoring goals, isn't it?
OK, it's your team, I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah.
Goalkeeper, who'd you go for?
Goalkeeper will probably be Joe Hart. Amazing friend of mine, top person to have in the dressing room and a top keeper. I think anyone's careers, you have ups and downs, and he's unfortunately had a tough few years, but I think no one can doubt his quality, and you've seen it time and time again. One game that stands out for me was, I think it was Dortmund against the current manager side, and we literally could have lost that game 8-0 very comfortably, and he just kept us in it. It was ridiculous, and I think we nicked it with a penalty at the end, so that game stands out for me, but definitely Joe Hart in goal.
And he's a good mate of yours, as you said earlier. Do you still keep in touch with him?
Yeah, of course, yeah. I've seen him the other day as well, so it's nice to have him a bit closer to home again now, so I can see him a bit more, but obviously speak to him a lot. And
sounds like you miss him.
Yeah, I mean, when you spend that much time with people, like obviously when I was at City for 5 years and at England, you spend every single day with these people, and that's one thing at football, you probably don't realising how tough it is. You spend so much time with these guys, and then one day a transfer goes through and you leave. Danny Ings is another one, went the other day, and you spend a lot of time with these guys, and you feel close, and obviously it changes and you hardly see them, or you see them on TV, so that's part of the game. But like you say, to be successful as a team, you need that team spirit, and you need to have those friendships, and when things are tough for you as individuals and as a team, you need to know that your teammates are around you.
Yeah, defender, you're only picking one defender, so there's a lot for this defender to do in this team. A lot of work.
I've been thinking about this. There's so many names to go through. I think, I think Rio Ferdinand's in there. Ashley Cole was always a nightmare to play against and great to play with. So much quality going forward and defensively. Vinny Company, top defender. I'm going to go from someone who I played with right at the start of my career and go with Jonathan Woodgate.
OK.
you know, probably had a few injury problems, which people didn't realise how good he was. But playing with him, read the game amazingly well. Good footballer. Obviously went to Madrid as well, so it shows how good they thought he was. And off the field as well, really funny guy, and another great one to have in the dressing room. So
any examples of?
Probably not that I can repeat on camera. So I've got to be careful.
Everyone says that about Woodgate. He was the joker.
Yeah, brilliant to have around. So, you know, even if we don't win the five-a-side game with Harty and Woody, it's not going to be a dull dressing room.
Fair enough. You mentioned some amazing players, Ashley Cole, Vincent Kompany, Rio. Do you think Jonathan Woodgate's career was hampered slightly by injury? The fact that you're putting him above or in the same breadth as those players?
I think it definitely was. I think, like I say, the teams he played for and the high regard he was held to go to Madrid, and it definitely held him back. You know, I'm probably slightly biased as well, obviously being a Leeds fan coming through, and he was a big player at Leeds. So that's a slight bias as well, though, I suppose. You know, obviously Rio played for Leeds as well, but then he unfortunately went on to Man United, so that probably held him back slightly. Yeah, but again, Rio, you know, amazing player, and played with him for England. So you know, like I said, I was going to upset someone. I've been fortunate to play with some very good players, so it's not easy.
I love the reasoning going into this team. It's not just it's what you can do off the field, the banter, who you ended up playing for.
I have to justify it if I see him soon.
Okay, well said. Yeah. Midfielder, again, this is really tough for you.
Yeah, I think some top players throughout, really, going back to Leeds, Newcastle, Villa, I mean, Man City, you know, obviously we had Yaya in there, Gareth Barry, you know, the career he's had most appearances in the Premier League. Don't realise how good he is, really, until you see him week in, week out. Lamps, you know, ridiculous goal scorer. His numbers were phenomenal, and even when he came to City at the end, you know, the amount of goals he scored. Steven Gerrard, obviously, unbelievable all-round player, could do absolutely everything, but I'm probably going to have to put David Silva in there.
Yeah.
Just as a player, his touch was ridiculous, weight of pass, creativity. He just did some things in training which were just ridiculous, really. So, you know, such a tough decision, and the players I'm leaving out, I could have picked any one of them, really, but I'll probably go with David.
Are you thinking again of five-a-side, because technically that's a big part of this game? He's a very skillful player.
Yeah, I think obviously on the smaller, well, with my two strikers as well, obviously Lamps is a goal scorer, so I've got two strikers going in, so I've got to think of that. David on the smaller side of the game, and you know, he can pick a long pass as well, but his short passing, weight of pass, getting out of tight areas with 2-3 men around him, and wriggles out and checks away and slots a little pass through, so you know, he was top class.
Okay, very attacking team, two strikers. Who's your first of your partnership?
Two strikers. First one has to be Alan Shearer. You know, greatest goal scorer in the Premier League.
You think so for you? Greatest?
Well, he scored the most.
Stats say
yeah,
that.
he scored the most. I'm going off that. I think, you know, you look at others like Henry was unbelievable, could do everything, and so many more. You know, Rooney, the amount of goals he scored. Played with him, obviously, with England. But I just think the sheer volume of goals he scored, you know, obviously the amount of goals Wayne Rooney scored, and he's still probably, was it 50 behind him or something, or 40 behind him in terms of how many he got, and Wayne started his career at 16, so just to score that many goals year in, year out, and he had a couple of tough injuries as well throughout his career, so you know, when I went to Newcastle and watched him finish and how hard he hit it, and practicing penalties the day before a game, and he'd take a few and then he'd be telling Shea which way he was going to go. And,
really? So he'd take penalties and tell the keeper
take
where
a few first, and then he'd take some out at the end and tell him which corner. And Shea obviously wouldn't go too early to cheat and make it ridiculous, but he'd still know where he was going, and you know, still couldn't save it. 90% of the time. Yeah, wow. So, I mean, just things like that. So to watch him in training and see him finishing was fantastic.
Yeah, and unbelievable player, as you quite rightly said. Last striker, you got one more player to fit in the team. Who'd you go for?
Wayne Rooney. Harry Kane, unbelievable goal scorer. Carlos Tevez was incredible, some of the things he did. And it's actually one of the only players my wife has ever commented on, was how good Carlos Tevez was. I couldn't believe someone say, yeah, ridiculous. She just was like, just made a comment after one of the games saying like she couldn't believe how good he was. Really? And like, she don't really talk about football that much, but it was just like for her to say that he did something in the game, I think, and was struggling, and he got a throw in from the halfway line and wriggled past two players and stuck in top corner from 30 yards. It was just like, and that's what Carlos could do, just change the game on his own. But saying all that, I'll probably have to go with Sergio Aguero.
I thought you'd say that. Yeah.
I'd have to
Tell us
go
how
there.
good Sergio Aguero is. You've just quite rightly said how many top strikers you've played with. What made Sergio Aguero be picked in this team for you?
I think the amount of goals he scored for the time he's been in England, the times he did it, the goals he scored, different types of goals. He can just make something out of nothing, really. Three men round him in the box and he'd wriggle and get a shot off. And strong, small centre of gravity. Yeah, just the score of all different types of goals, and to score as many as he has in the Premier League as well. Like you say, Alan Shearer's played in the Premier League all his career, and Sergio obviously been here a while now, but nowhere near as long. Big goals as well, none bigger than to win the title when you need someone to step up and do it in the 95th, 96th minute or whatever it was to do that.
Unbelievable, still unbelievable Premier League moments this day. If that team isn't gelling, I'm not saying it wouldn't, but for whatever reason, you do have one super sub. Who do you put on the bench?
Super sub, I'd probably go Stevie G.
Stevie Gerrard.
Probably after. Like I said before,
It's an unbelievable player
tough.
that is to have on the bench.
Yeah, exactly. It's such a tough decision with the amount of players that I've been lucky enough to play with, but Stevie probably as an all-round player is the best I've played with to do everything. Left foot, right foot, passing, short passing, long balls, scoring goals, getting about the pitch, had the bite, tackles. Like you say, you do an overall assessment of a football player, and he could do everything. And one memory probably when I first went into the England squad, and we were doing like a possession keep ball in quite a tight area, and he just absolutely ran the session. And we're talking about obviously England squad here with so many other good players, and the pace of the session and the passing, and it was like pinball, and 90% of it was going through him.
So the most complete player.
I'd say the most complete. I'd say,
career.
yeah, I'd probably have to say it. So.
Okay, finally Gaffer. Again, you've been fortunate in your career to play with some amazing managers.
Terry Venables obviously gave my debut. He was a great manager for me. Sir Bobby Robson after that. Martin O'Neill at Aston Villa. I'll have to say Jurgen Klopp because I'm going to get left out next game.
Very good point.
Nah, I mean, obviously the Gaffer's he's a top manager. You can see how we play, enjoy the way we play. As a team, you have to play together in the style we play, and he moulds that team with and without the ball. And you know, we're just short of a few trophies at this moment in time. We've had opportunities, we've got to finals, and we just need that final piece of the jigsaw, if you like. But obviously, I think he's done great in his career before coming here, and now you know we'll look like we're improving year on year since he's been here, and things are looking good. So for the sake of keeping the harmony and in the good books, and the fact he's a very good manager as well, I'll say Jurgen Klopp.
Top man James Milner has some team as well. Interesting, dream five-a-side based on all players he's played within his career. He played with Steve Sidwell in his career, didn't pick you?
He did now. Must be way down the pecking
On the blow-up.
on the sub bench.
Tweet him now.
Some team, though, isn't it?
I'm player coach, manager.
Let's talk James Milner. Stats against West Ham, I think he covered the most distance, had the most touches, man of the match, got an assist. Do you think he's underrated as a player, James Milner?
I don't think he's underrated because you look at the clubs that he's been at. So he's Leeds, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Man City, Liverpool.
Yeah.
England
internationals.
Biggest clubs in England, you know, arguably there. So, and every one of them could say that they've had their money's worth out of him because he gives absolutely everything. Assists, goals, his work ethic, how he conducts himself on the pitch, off the pitch. He's an all-round model pro. Stuff that he's doing off the pitch now for charity stuff as well, his foundation. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I mean, he'll be on the old honours list.
Yeah. What is he like? You say off the pitch. What is he like as a...
Yeah, I mean, at Villa, he's pretty quiet. I mean, back then, he was so focused and dedicated to giving everything to his profession of being a professional football player. Wasn't really one to socialise outside, but I think, you know, he's come to terms with that now when he's doing that a bit more. But, I mean, as a player, once you get a one-on-one with him or you're in his company, he's a great lad. I mean, the boring James Milner, I think it was there, but, you know, it's been blown out of proportion. Yeah. He sort of takes, you know, kind heart fun to it as well. So
He's like he's got a pretty dry sense of humour.
Exactly that.
I think there's elements of his game that have been undervalued. I think for all that new talent that was on the field against West Ham, James Milner was still man of the match for me. I think completed the most passes, what was it, over 100 passes. And I think his flexibility as well, his tactical flexibility. The left wing, left back, centre mid, CDM, just
He's a
anywhere and
manager's
everywhere.
dream. He is an absolute manager's
And I've
dream.
heard that he smashes the bleep test every single year.
That doesn't surprise me.
Naby Keita apparently was blowing. This is a guy who's covered the most ground in the Bundesliga last campaign.
safe.
And James Milner still going beep, beep, beep.
No,
Right, we can go around the grounds because our games are about to get underway for the second half. Just looking at picture now, there is Pochettino. Very angry Pochettino in half-time. Spurs, of course, 1-0 up at Wembley Stadium, but he wasn't happy with referee after a few decisions. Felt the Spurs should have had a penalty. But he looks like he's calmed down. There is Ryan Sessegnon. Fulham will want a big half from him if they're to get back into this game. Only 1-0 down, to be fair. It's not... Spurs had 12 shots in the first half, but only 2 of them on target, which was the same as Fulham, who also had 2 on target, although Spurs had 60% possession.
Look at the size of Adama Traore coming up.
There is Adama Traore. That will be I believe that'll be him making his debut for Wolves. Wolves have got a lot to do as they are 2-0 down, although they did start very well that game, according to Dave Jackson. Big half here for Adama Traore for Wolves. Lots to do in this game.
I've seen smaller garages. Look at the size of him.
The lad that Brighton played, I think, Borough last year in the FA Cup, and he played, and the lad come back from it, and they just said he is an absolute machine.
Really?
Machine.
Well, even under Tony Pulis, not the most attack-minded manager, let's say, he was still completing about 9.5 dribbles a game last campaign, which is twice that of Neymar in League in Smithy.
He does love a dribble. I can understand it from watching him play. He does love that, doesn't he? Head down, running at play.
Yeah.
Interesting to see how he gets on in the Premier League. Dave Jackson, all our games underway?
Yes, they are now. West Ham are going to have to make a sub. Masuka looks like he's going to be coming off. I think he's got a bit of a groin strain. There was a chance for Bournemouth straight after kickoff. Fraser probably should have scored, to be honest. He's also the fellow who missed the chance in the first half that I forgot who it was. But, yeah. So a bit of a lively start. And Wolves on the attack in the other game. And it's about even Stevens in the Everton-Southampton game, even though Everton are winning 2-0.
OK, yeah. Let's go straight to social media. I want to get you guys' comments. Just remind the viewers how they can get in touch with the show, Temps.
All you have to do is tweet at Football Daily with the hashtag TheFootballSocial, or leave your comment in the live chat, and if they're great, we'll read them out. I've actually got a really good one, which I'm interested to know the answer to as well. It's from Coco. It's to you, Sidwell.
Oh.
Obviously, you started your career at Arsenal.
Yes.
So as a youth player, what did you learn under Arsene Wenger?
We was there when he first come to the club, so he was obviously the first one to bring in the diets and the nutrition, the suppleness, the yoga. So you can imagine us youth team players, we was looking out the windows to see Martin Keown sort of like doing this behind it, and we was absolutely cracking up there. But he was the one who brought that new trend, I think, of breaking the mould of Arsenal, of boring 1-0 Arsenal to playing free-flowing football. But I mean, under Arsene Wenger, Fulham were in it. Under Arsene Wenger, I think it was just that philosophy is just to go out and express yourself.
Oh, Mitchell! Oh, Mitchell just hit the post. Great effort from outside the area. Oh, Tom Kearney with the follow-up, no?
Very brightly, Steve. Mitrovic with a big chance there.
Yeah, they've started well.
Oh, man. Why didn't that fly in?
Before, but it's... Again, applying the pressure on Tottenham. Fell to Mitrovic there, half a yard. Always, did it go through the defender's legs? Always
lucky boy.
Gets the keeper, doesn't it? It's gone through the Tottenham's legs, I think it was. Yeah. It smashed off the post.
Let off
good
the
start.
Spurs
Good
there.
start for Fulham, though. Just what they wanted. That's what the manager would have said to them. Scotty Parker would have been going around the dressing room into individuals saying, look, let's start strong, put Spurs on the back foot and get a stamp on this game.
Oh, great.
I've heard Scotty Parker talking about him. That's a big part of his game, is sort of man management, even as a player. Because I remember listening to Carlton Cole off the back of a West Ham game. I can't remember the game, but he said that Scotty Parker, in one game, when they were facing relegation, the manager gave Scotty Parker the half-time team talk, and I remember Carlton Cole saying he was almost in tears at how powerful he was at talking and getting his message across.
Yeah. Stick him in Parliament.
Yeah. Who was Carlton Cole was almost in tears. How powerful.
I think that says more about where Carlton Cole was at that time than...
Well, I mean, you know, is that...
Yeah, that is Scotty down to a T. Very passionate, wears his heart on his sleeve. Comes out Dele Alli.
Wow.
Save. If that volley goes anywhere else, that's a goal. Straight down the goalkeeper.
But that didn't surprise you, but that story doesn't surprise you.
No, not at all. I mean, as you say, you can see how Scotty is as a player, the way he plays, his tenacity, and that he's getting around the pitch and putting people on their backside and breaking up play and getting forward. But, you know, as a person, that's what he brings. You know, as a player, when you're around him, his leadership qualities, and obviously now going on the other side of the fence and going into coaching and hopefully management, that will come to the front. So he's done that throughout his career on the pitch as a player. He'll take that with ease to do it as a coach, and he'll definitely would have done that at half-time in this game, for instance.
What sort of manager do you think he'll be? Because you play with a wide variety of managers.
Yeah.
From, Pulis and O'Neill at one end.
Yeah.
So you got Steve Coppell and.
Yeah. I think he's one of them. He will as long as players give their all and show that they're trying and the effort is there, he'll never knock that. So I think I don't think he'll be able to accept players that don't try or give up.
Right.
If he sees
that was something he could never do.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think if you don't get it wrong, nowadays you've got to manage players and manage egos, and if you can manage that and massage that off the pitch, then great. But as soon as they step on that white line, they have to be 100% dedicated to the cause, and if they're not, that's when I think it will come into loggerheads with him.
Another chance for Spurs. Dele Alli, good save, or should he have done more? What are your thoughts on that chance Spurs had?
I think he just made a nice, clean connection. A bit of a snapshot, wasn't it? Had to kind of take it as being closed down. Good chance. Fulham, look, they've got the structure's a little bit better at the start of this second half. Putting together a couple of passes now. This is the kind of Fulham we maybe expected to see at the start of the first half. A little less ragged now. But hopefully they can make a game of it, mate, because I'd quite like to see you suffer.
OK, that doesn't surprise me with Chris Hamill. Ryan Sessegnon, next goal scorer, you can get 16-1. Bear in mind, they've started quite strong in this half, and that is with Sky Bet, 16-1 to a player that was absolutely prolific in the Championship last season. Full terms and conditions apply, and of course you have to be 18+. For more information, go to skybet.com. Dave, let's get a round-up from the other 3 games. What's been going on in the second half, mate?
There's not much. They don't really need proper chances since you last came to me. Wolves are playing the better football, but obviously they're 2-0 down, so they need to get one soon. Everton, I think they're basically just managing the game. They've got the 2-goal lead. They're not doing anything more than what they should be doing. Southampton have to get the next goal in that game. Else this is going to end maybe even 3-0 or something. And in the West Ham Bournemouth game, West Ham probably just about on top. Again, Bournemouth need to get one back very soon. I could see that going 2, maybe 3 to West Ham.
Thanks so much, Temps. Update on social media. What have you got for us?
On social, we've got a lot of questions coming in about Mo Salah. They're silly questions, to be honest with you, because everyone keeps asking. It is a silly question. Do you think Mo Salah is a one-season wonder?
Mad.
Do you think he can replicate this season? Obviously, he can.
Asking that question.
I know, yeah, but a lot of people are asking it, so I'll throw it over to you guys.
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think he's going to...
Oh, come on, Steve.
I don't think he's going to have a shot.
Mitrovic!
Why is everyone celebrating?
Mitro's on fire! Your defence is terrified! Mitro's on fire!
Fulham have scored, in case you haven't worked out. Steve, talk us through it. I'm going to see that.
on the accumulator.
Fulham have started on the front foot, haven't they? This second.
So there's a wrap.
I've got to say, what a ball there from the left-hand side. Sessegnon,
is he offside?
I think he goes to score. Obviously, it's on his weaker.
Is he
offside?
offside?
Is he trying to square that back?
By the way, he scored with a header whilst he sat down, Mitrovic.
Oh, if it's offside now, Smithy's had the last laugh, hasn't he?
He's not offside. I'm clutching at straws here, to be fair.
Right.
There's no VAR.
Impressive finish, considering he's actually sat down, Mitrovic, at this point.
Yeah, not the most nimble fella, is it? He's a bit of a lump.
I've got to say though, Fulham, they've come out, they've put their stamp on the game, they've played football. I mean, the first half they couldn't even complete more than 2 or 3 passes, but this time they've got their footballing going. They're moving Spurs around, but what a ball on the left-hand side. Great finish.
How
game on.
Caught so cold here. What's happened?
3 and 3. I was going to say, as great as...
Oh, goal!
That was
goal Southampton.
4 defensively from Spurs. Goal in one of the other games, Dave Jackson.
Yes, it was a corner ball flinged in. Danny Ings has popped up. It was about 2-3 yards out. Don't get me wrong, pretty easy finish, but he still had to finish it. As I said that Southampton probably need to get the next goal and a half, so they're very much game on in that one.
Big
Ings.
goal.
Do you want
Danny Ings. Well, thank you very much, Dave. Danny Ings.
I think that's a shrewd.
That was very from the stadium as well, Dave. I like the intonation.
Yeah.
Back to you. Back to you.
It's a real shrewd buy, from Southampton, getting Danny Ings. Good player. Obviously, very unlucky with his injuries up at Liverpool.
Bad
but a good
Everton,
finisher and a good player.
And he's been fit for a long time now, actually. Like, he was fit for the last 6 months of the season, so...
Oh,
And
Might be a penalty.
Southampton
No,
needed a goal scorer, no penalty there. They did need a goal scorer. They've got a lot of players in that position, but if you look at the stats on the back end of last season, Charlie Austin not scored in his last 8 appearances. Gabbiadini scored just 2 in his last 25 appearances, and Shane Long scored just 2 goals in 55 appearances.
Is the guy that signed from Monaco as well?
So they needed a goal scorer.
And I've not seen him play since Mark Hughes got there, actually. But yeah. Interesting point, that.
But that's where obviously where they lacked. You need goals to win games. That's where they lacked, didn't they, Southampton last season?
That is what they needed. They brought Danny Ings in, and he has scored his first goal for Southampton. Big goal that is for Danny.
So we have actually given. I know Mark Hughes has brought you to 2 different clubs, and we actually give. To be honest, we give Mark Hughes a little bit of grief on our channel in that we didn't think he was deserving of a job like Southampton, and it seemed like they've kind of gradually regressed since having Koeman, since they had Pochettino. What do you make of him as manager? Do you think he's going to progress Southampton? Because they were in a dogfight last season.
Yeah. Right? I mean, I see 2 different sides to sort of Mark Hughes. When I was at Fulham, I was playing every week. So when you're playing, you have a different relationship with the manager. At Stoke, when I wasn't playing, again, you have a different relationship.
Yeah.
So what I would say is that his man management isn't great, the way he's with players.
Abrasive bit.
Doesn't like confrontation, believe it or not. I mean, it's quite surprising when you actually think of the player that he was, his aggression on the pitch. When you actually sit down with him one-on-one across his desk, he can sense he feels a bit uncomfortable with that.
Okay. That is surprising.
Yeah, so, I mean, I won't be the first player to say
The opposite to Pulis, then headbutting people naked in the shower.
Well, yeah, that was the rumours, wasn't it, and the stuff that come out, so yeah. But, I mean, in terms of what he gets, in terms of what he gets out of players on the pitch, for him, he's got a great team around him. He's got Mark Bowen and Eddie Niedzecki, his first-team coaches that go with him everywhere. And it's more of a good cop, bad cop with them. So they all know their roles, they all play off each other. In terms of what he can do to Southampton, I think he was the right man to go in. He had Premier League experience and try and keep him afloat last year, which they've done. Now it's a chance of... This is his last chance saloon of really sort of being at a club. Because he's had his time, he's had his chances. He was on that merry-go-round of same managers.
Yeah, interesting you said that. 6th different side he's managed in the Premier League. Only Sam Allardyce in Premier League history has managed more clubs, 7. So quite right what you say. He's on that merry-go-round.
I think he seems to take a club to a certain level and hit a bit of a glass ceiling. Because oddly enough, he's not done a bad job at any of them. But like Stoke were regressing. He had 1 good season with Fulham, right? Blackburn.
Yeah. I think you look at the spell that he had with Man City. I think he was where he had the best players there, and he done well. I think he was a little bit unlucky because I think they knew, or they probably were saying what you're saying there is that could he take him to that next level? They already got. Was it Mancini in before?
Yeah, I think it's like 6 games into the second season, wasn't it?
And they started well as well. So. But yeah, I mean, he's at a club now at Southampton. You know, he was a player there before. So can he take him to the next level? We'll see.
What a pass that is from Harry Kane, by the way. Unbelievable cross.
Oh, is he still playing?
Spurs on the incredible pass there, but the danger has been cleared. And Fulham have actually played quite well. I'm a bit worried about this.
Second half.
This fixture that looked fairly comfortable in the first half. Fulham have certainly improving, and Mitrovic to score a brace was 11-2. It's now 13-2 with Sky Bet. So interesting odds there that you can see on the screen. Shane Long been brought on.
Yes, Steve's former teammate Shane Long has come on for Charlie Austin. And in the West Ham game, there's been some tackles flying in.
That's it.
Jack Wilshere he's almost like floored someone there, but you know the ball was there to be won, so fair play to him.
That's what the West Ham fans want to see.
Yeah,
I mean they'll love that. They'll love that. They're West Ham fans, won't they?
Fulham still playing out. No change to their philosophy. Not gone direct. I mean, she's just whacked it as soon as I said that. Brilliant.
Literally couldn't have disagreed with you more. Whatever you said.
Whacked it out of play as well. Brilliant.
Completely contradicted to what I
Whatever, Steve. I'm out.
Interesting Mitrovic there. We can see on our screen recent goal scored in all of his 3 games against Spurs. Great, brilliant. Just saves it for Tottenham Hotspur by the sounds of it. Let's go back to social media. Temps, what you got?
We've got a comment from Mo Sharif who says, how will KDB's injury affect Manchester City? So he's obviously been confirmed to be out for 3 months now with a knee injury.
At least 3 months,
How can... I mean...
Bournemouth goal!
Oh.
Dave Jackson.
My draw's come in.
Callum Wilson's here.
I feel like West Ham went to sleep a little bit there. Ball was played through, run on. It didn't even take a touch. First time, boom.
I like Wilson.
Have we just replay, Dave?
Picks up on the halfway line, doesn't it?
Oh, that was a bit of a guess, to be honest.
skips past West Ham.
Oh, he's done really well.
Oh, it's a great finish.
The whole
He's
defence.
beat about
That's a lovely
3
finish.
kind of players, and he's slotted it home. That is a great goal.
Can we just go back to our ACCA at the moment? 150 to 1, and it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, I
One
mean,
result off.
You know what? It's not a
looking
bad
pretty
start.
solid.
Our accumulator is looking
that's a
pretty
great
good.
goal
We'll
from
update
Wilson,
that
that
to you when we have it.
Really
So our
awful,
accumulator isn't
awful
looking
defending.
too bad.
They were laughing at your
Comments if
prediction.
you've
I know,
got it.
mate.
What's going on? Look
As to how
at
you're
it.
getting on with them. Pochettino, incidentally, has an unbelievable record against newly promoted side. He's never lost for Tottenham in 24 Premier League games against newly promoted sides, winning 22 of those 24. And Spurs have won 8 of the last 9 Premier League meetings against Fulham. But that goal changes
Pretty
everything.
good, isn't there, recently, Spurs?
Kane to score third goal was 11-4. It's now 3-1 with Sky Bet. Dave Jackson, can you see Harry Kane breaking his August hoodoo?
I hope not, but I've just actually rewatched the Callum Wilson guy. It's such bad defending from West Ham.
Awful.
Like, he's like they've gone past 3-4 plays. The Callum Wilson's done very, very well, but the defending is pretty horrendous. And there's almost like a sliding tackle at the end from Zabaleta, which is he's just thought, oh, why not? And he's got absolutely nowhere near him.
Pellegrini coming in and get into Manchester City, and Vincent Kompany and Di Michele's both saying that his defensive system is very unforgiving on the back four.
Really?
He asked them to play really high.
Yeah.
One of the centre-backs has to go, and it does open them up to looking pretty stupid. And I think, West Ham might concede a fair amount of goals this season, but I think they're going to be more entertaining to watch as a result, right?
Well, they conceded 4 against Liverpool in the opening day, so...
But Liverpool have whacked them 4-0 in the last 4 games. That's mental, isn't it?
I think they also lost their
16
first game of last season 4-0 to Man United, I believe, as well. They don't tend to start great. I mean, a lot of West Ham fans were quite excited.
They've been in transition for about 20 years, haven't they?
Exactly. Do you know what? I was just about to say, a lot of West Ham fans every summer get very excited about new signings, but there seems to be even more optimism this summer because they've spent so much and with the manager, but not a great start. I mean.
No, and they need to integrate very quickly, don't they? Because as we know, the West Ham fans can be very unforgiving.
Yes.
So, I mean, as you see there with Jack Wilshere, getting into tackles, yes, they'll love that. That will go a long way with him. But if he doesn't see a few more doing that or pulling their weight, then they'll definitely be on their back.
Who was the one fan base you really connected with? Because you did adopt the name Ginger Iniesta. Didn't you?
Yeah, at Fulham. Yeah, that was a funny. I don't even know what to say about that. I don't even know where they got that from. I think they was watching the wrong player.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, no, the Fulham fans were great. I mean, I think I've been fortunate enough that every club that I've been at,
So good.
I've got on well with the fans. I think just because, again, the fact that if they see that you're trying and giving your all, then they can never fault you. Yes, you might have the odd off day and bad day at the office, but as long as you're trying, that's all they can ask for.
Still around nice fan bases. Reading, Fulham.
I've seen Reading fans like really sort of idolising you and.
I think obviously at that time then with the football club it was it was the peak, wasn't it? There it was the good times, what we done there and what we achieved. So I think that team in general will always be held in high regard.
What happened to Seal?
Yeah,
One of my favourite players of that period.
Yeah.
Obviously, and yourself.
No,
but in that team.
Did he go to Fulham? Did he go to
long-range howitzer on him?
Yeah, no, he was a good player, but he was one of them players that if he got a knock or if someone put him on his backside, then he wouldn't get up and
Didn't fancy it.
Yeah, and away from home as well.
Fulham playing well this second half, and I think Spurs are going to make a substitution. It looked like Moussa Dembele was getting warmed up. Again, another player linked with an exit from Spurs this summer. Luckily, we've managed to keep hold of him, but obviously the transfer window is still open in the foreign league, so it'll be interesting to see if he manages to stay at Spurs. It looks like Davinson Sanchez is coming off, Moussa Dembele going off, so change of formation. Spurs go to 2 at the back. Looks like they're going to push forward. Dyer and Dembele sitting. Maybe Dembele plays that box-to-box role. Spurs going for more offensive.
Should you go for a little? What's that? 4-2-3-1 maybe.
We need another goal. Yeah, he'll play 4-2-3-1. I would have thought with Dyer and Dembele sitting, but Dembele doing a sort of box-to-box role.
I've got to say, what a player he is as well. Moussa Dembele. I was with him at Fulham, and I remember my first training session thinking, "Wow, who is this? I've never heard of him before." See some of his goals at AZ Alkmaar, where he come from beforehand, and he was phenomenal. He was brilliant at Fulham. The Spurs fans, they really like him, don't they? The Spurs fans.
He is loved at Spurs.
He's only, I'd say, negative about him is that he doesn't score enough goals.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, because I think his all-round play is brilliant.
We do a Soccer M teammates feature, as you're aware. Last season alone, Harry Winks, Harry Kane, Victor Wanyama, Dele Alli.
Oh, goal!
There's
Bournemouth!
football question.
Yeah.
All of them.
Oh,
They
Bournemouth.
A goal at Bournemouth, Dave Jackson.
Yes, I
Good.
believe it was Cook. I think it was such a cheap free kick for West Ham to give away. He's brought the player down, and again, just ball into the box, head up, 2-1 to Bournemouth. But both of Bournemouth goals have been shambolic defending from West Ham's point of view. They're both completely preventable.
Oh, yeah.
That is terrible.
West Ham are going to struggle if they can't contain this Bournemouth side. No disrespect to Eddie Howe's men.
How's
I mean,
he
a
got
little
it
bit.
there? That's like a free head in the
It is a
six-yard box.
poor goal for
Terrible.
West Ham to concede. Meanwhile, corner to Spurs, whipped in. Harry Kane, half chance behind him. Here is Moussa Dembele on the ball.
Go on then, Ben.
Spurs need to create something
Oh.
here. Vertonghen with another...
Vertonghen with a
Vertonghen,
swing and a
I
miss.
did like Jan Vertonghen, his tweet after last week saying the race for the golden boot is on after just one goal for Spurs in about 3 years, which was quite nice. So going back to Moussa Dembele, you were saying his one weakness is goal scoring, but other than that...
I mean,
phenomenal player.
I think he's not many players that can do this, is that when they get the ball and they just stand up to an opposition and knowing...
flat. Dele Alli!
Got scored.
Oh,
Line, Dele.
Another one off the line.
The follow-up shot. Yeah, I think he's interesting enough. I think he's got the best dribble completion percentage in Europe because he's just got people just bounce off him.
That was.
Yeah.
He shifts one way, he drops the shoulder and
balanced.
goes
I think it's off. I think it's a red card. Red card for Vardy.
Jackson, talk us through it.
It was a ridiculous. Well, on first viewing, it was
that
a ridiculous
JV?
challenge. Yeah, Jamie Vardy's been sent off. I don't know who the Wolves player was, but he's just flung himself at the ball with both feet. I believe I'd have to watch it again.
There we go.
I think the ball's kind of just nipped past him. He's tried to obviously win it back.
Oh, this is silly.
And he's that's a bad
silly.
tackle.
It's a nasty challenge.
It's a proper Joe Tomlinson follow-through, that is.
That's
Oh,
bad.
wow.
That's him kind of like just below his kneecap. And,
wow.
He's
there's another goal at Everton.
He's won the ball. There's no
Goal, Phil Walcott again.
follow-through like that.
Or maybe it's offside. I'm not sure he's offside.
Yeah,
He's
Walcott's
offside.
having a great game, a goal
He
and
is.
an assist, Dave, and another goal that's just been flagged offside, and a fantastic new haircut. It's all going well for him.
He's absolutely loving life. Phil Walcott is living his best life.
Meanwhile, great chance for Mitrovic, Steve Sidwell. Big chance for Fulham, this.
Oh, it's happening.
I mean, that's the
everywhere,
replay of the Dele Alli incident, but there was a big chance for Mitrovic beforehand. Big chance for Fulham. Mitrovic could have made it 2-1. Fulham, it is all going on. So, Dave, just remind us of the two incidents in your games.
Yes.
Red card and a disallowed
Yes,
goal.
there's a red card for Jamie Vardy. I believe Wolves can get one back now. Playing against 10 men, they can definitely get something out of this game. Yes, and Phil Walcott had a goal rightly ruled offside, but he's having a great game, to be fair to him.
That is the Mitrovic chance, Steve, which we're just seeing to the left of us now. And it's gone again. Big chance for Fulham. That could have made it 2-1.
Why is Jamie Vardy doing that at 2-0 up?
Yeah.
Absolutely no need. And what's that? That's going to be violent conduct, isn't it? Is that 3-match ban?
Yeah, it's straight out.
Is that frustration from him? I don't know how his game's gone today. Is it just not been the
Well, they're 2-0 up. You think that he'd be...
To be fair, you see, like Leicester haven't played well today.
Are they not?
But again, they're 2-0 up, so it's coming up. Like ridiculous decision.
This became a bit of a hallmark of Leicester at the King Power under Puel at the tail end of last season, like not playing well, grinding out results. Like he's this possession-based
again,
coach.
play from Everton here. It scores.
Football,
Oh, Theo.
but it's just not happening. A lot of people thought Puel might go at the end of the
He's
season.
having a worldie.
But I suppose
Sorry,
it's a
Hamill,
decent
I'm
result
just,
against a decent Wolves side.
so frustrated at these first chances that we keep carving out. A lot of half chances. Steve, interesting to say that Eriksen's taken... We've seen Trippier's taken some of the set pieces, but Eriksen's on a lot of the free kicks and corners. You're surprised not to see Trippier on more of them, considering how
here we
good he
go.
was from set pieces in the World Cup.
Come on, Ben.
Yep, just going to get this cross out the way. Great ball in.
Chance!
Hey,
Once again, it's a half chance for Spurs.
Harry Kane, I hate to say it, pretty non-existent so far in this match.
Not had his best
been
game.
quiet.
Is he fit?
Probably not. Probably not. I certainly don't think he's...
Rest him then.
fully
Why is he
fit
playing him?
as-
Why did he stop
I don't
last
make the
week?
decisions, Chris. I'm not the Spurs manager.
Well...
Say that. Surprised not to see
Bloody
Trippier on more of the set pieces.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, yes, he scored a great goal in the World Cup and put great deliveries in, but Eriksen on the dead ball situation is fantastic. I mean, the amount of assists and dangerous crosses and set pieces that he put in last season was there to see. So It's nice to have that luxury that if he's having an off day, then he can put trips on it. So
Yeah, good problem to have.
Get Vincent Janssen on.
Yeah.
Bring Soldado back.
Soldado, what a great player he was technically, not the best.
Oh,
One of the back
here we go, back
Big
post.
chance now,
Back
Dele Alli.
post then, Dele.
Dele crosses it through. Harry Kane, Eriksen.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice. That was nice
behind him.
That was unlucky. That's unfortunate.
Spurs seem to be having all the... I'd love to see the possession stat because it is all Tottenham on the ball this half. But Fulham do look threatening as well. Davis whips the ball in. Very comfortable with the keeper.
Oh, my God.
This Fulham keeper, is it
What has your
Fabry?
man done there? Sorry.
Fabry, yeah.
Fabrizio,
Yeah, I mean...
They just signed
Not having
Yeah,
him.
they've just signed him.
Sevilla
Yeah, it was better.
as well,
it was yeah, I mean, they signed 48 hours ago.
Sergio Enrico. He's different from this guy.
Yeah, so Fabry started the first game last week. The other keeper that they signed,
Enrico's
48
a good
hours before.
goalkeeper.
Yeah, I mean, Bettinelli's been seriously binned, which is surprising because
Really?
obviously he played every game from last season and done well. But I mean,
That's
he's
a vote of no confidence, isn't it?
No.
Signing 2 goalkeepers.
Exactly, yeah. But I mean, from what I've seen of him this afternoon, doesn't really come and claim.
He didn't cover himself in glory there. In that
No,
particularly
no.
not.
But I mean, even on that cross earlier where he sort of fumbled it out to Dele Alli, where he just
Yeah.
put it on the goal and it got cleared off the line. So
Spurs playing a lot better with Dembele on the pitch, though. You can see they're creating a lot of chances. But interesting that he has only 1 goal and 1 assist in the last 2 seasons, which goes back to what you're saying. That's the area of his game. If we were critiquing it, we're being very hard. That's the area that he needs
You
to
could look
improve.
at some other statistics, though, couldn't you? Like, second assists, like how much he presses. Like, I don't. It is harsh to judge him just on goals and assists. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you want to be that all-round player, you do need to add goals to. I think with more so, he's got the luxury of having a Dyer next to him that he knows that can hold the fort while he's sort of going up there. But it just seems though he doesn't have that knack of wanting to go that extra yard, or when his lungs burn, that he just he's really willing to go the extra sort of yard, I suppose.
I suppose he's playing with Eriksen, who's 10 goals, 10 assists last season, or something stupid like that. So
Fantastic.
less pressure on him to come up with the good.
In terms of sort of creating attacks and dribbling and committing opposition to himself to attract 2 or 3 players around him, then release the ball, then it opens up spaces for other players.
Yeah, Spurs getting a lot of the ball now. Another cross whipped in.
Harry Kane!
Oh, no! Big chance for Harry Kane! September, October, November, December, or any other month, that hits the back of the net. But of course, it's in August. And what happened? It hit the woodwork. Interesting, Kane just 1 shot before that and has had the fewest touches of any Spurs player on the pitch today. But he very nearly made it 2-1.
Oh, the hoodoo continues, mate. That was so unfortunate.
Does continue.
Good
Incredible.
chance. Great ball in. He done everything right as well, Harry Kane. Got a good connection on it.
Everything right.
No coincidence you've kind of resumed control following Dembele coming on the pitch, right? I don't know what happened to Sanchez. That'd be a big blow if it's a
here we go.
Got chance
Chance
here.
for Kane.
Oh,
Lovely
lovely
thing from Kane. Yeah,
committed.
Kane has actually played well.
Harry!
Not scored that goal. Lucas Moura again looking very lively. Instantly, he's had a hand in 6 goals
Free kick.
in his 7 starts in all competitions since joining Tottenham. 2 goals, 4 assists. Goes back to my point earlier on that Lucas Moura has had a good start to his Tottenham career. Just hasn't played as many games as he would have liked to. Free kick here for Spurs. Interesting to see who's over this, as we just said.
We were just talking, wasn't we?
Oh,
that
mate.
was so
I've not watched a whole lot. I didn't watch a whole lot of Fulham last season, but I'm led to believe Tim Ream is the most composed defender in that back line. Are they missing him? Because that was wild from whoever that was.
They're missing him. Alfie Mawson as well, that signed.
Signed
20
mil,
so they're a bit light on numbers in defence, so they're going to be desperate to get them back as quick as possible. But they have looked a little bit disjointed, Fulham, in defensive modes last week and this week. So if they're going to want to survive in this league, they can't just rely on scoring goals. They have to stop them shipping in as well.
Another substitution for Tottenham. Eric Lamela is back. He just came on for, I believe, Eric Dyer. Interesting, very attacking. 2 substitutions from Mauricio Pochettino so far. Davison Sanchez, defender off. Moussa Dembele, midfielder off. Annie is taken off a DM. Eric Dyer to bring on Eric Lamela, going very attacking.
This isn't defensive from Fulham either. It's Stephen
No, it's not. Good point. Another sub for Fulham.
Very forward-thinking midfielder.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It's been a good game, this, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, fair play to both managers. You said the subs that they've made, Dembele's come on. Obviously now Johansson's come on. He's a very robust player, isn't he? They're going to miss Kenny's precision passing, but what they're going to get is they're going to get a lung-bursting effort from Johansson up and down the pitch.
Yeah, and
He
here's a free
chipped in
kick.
with a fair amount of contributed to a fair amount of goals last season, Johansson as well.
Interestingly, both Trippier and Eriksen are over it. Eriksen to score the third goal is at 9-1 with Sky, but he's standing over a free kick now. So if you want to get Eriksen as scoring of the third goal, 9-1, get on that very quickly with Sky, but you have to be 18 plus. Full terms and conditions apply. Looks like Trippier.
I feel like this is too far out.
Chance. Oh! What a goal!
The commentator.
Trippier.
What?
Can I just say, Steve, we made the point earlier. I asked you why
What a free kick.
not taking free kicks. That's why I asked the question, because when he does take free kicks, that is the result.
Hold on. Has the keeper got a little bit to answer for here? I don't want to take it away from.
You were at the game. You were at the England game when he scored that famous free kick. Is this even better?
There's no keeping that out.
I was
There is
literally going to say
no keeping that out.
similar sort of position to what the World Cup was.
Absolute
and he reversed it. The keeper's got no chance. Absolutely no chance.
Literally,
what a goal.
The words, "this is too far out," just left my mouth as that was nestling into the bottom corner. Where does this come from? Kieran Trippier. That was about 35 yards.
The talking point was about who should be taking it, and we did ask, why is Kieran Trippier not taking a free kick? First free kick he's shot at goal, back of the net. Spurs lead Fulham 2-1. Dave Jackson is letting our accumulator down badly.
Absolutely fuming.
Reaction from social media attempts, what are people saying?
I haven't actually had a look. I was just enjoying that free kick then. But yeah, what a free kick. Wow. We actually got cut off on our last question about KDB's injury. So we owe it to Mo to answer this question. Sorry, Mo.
Should we pick up there? Mo.
Let's pick it up. KDB's injury.
What do you think, Steve?
No, I think obviously you're going to miss his quality. Don't get me wrong, he's one of the standout players, wasn't he? If not the standout player, along with Salah last year. But I think it just opens a door for other players. I'd love to see Phil Foden get a chance.
Yeah.
What I've seen from him is just extraordinary. Yeah. You know, he's a real good talent, and I hope that he gets a chance, because I think if he gets a chance, he will definitely take it.
I mean, David Silva's still got to come back. Bernardo Silva obviously played that first game. Yeah. So their depth isn't really in question, is it? But KDB, great thing about KDB is he can play at 10, he can play at 6, 8, and he'll just do a job anywhere for Man City on the pitch. And he actually did get a little bit more reserved towards the tail end of last season, and that enabled David Silva to push up. He started creating more chances in and around the box. Yes, like you said, they've got... This could give rise to someone like Foden.
Yeah, listen, they'll miss his quality, and don't get it wrong, there might be the goals and assists that they're going to miss as well. But what they have got is that they've got players there that can step in, but more importantly, they've got a manager or a head coach or whatever it is called now, in Pep Guardiola, that can tinker around with a system and get the best out of.
Bayern, he lost Ribery all the time, Robin all the time. He was using Martinez. The amount of injuries the guy had at Bayern Munich and still found a way to win impressively was what makes him the top dog.
Right, we'll go back to Dave Jackson. Dave, a lot of players scoring against their sort of favourite clubs. Mitrovic scored 3 in all of his 3 games versus Spurs. Callum Wilson scored 5 goals in 5 league appearances versus West Ham. Interestingly, Vardy hard in 3 years. What else is going on in your other 3 o'clock games?
There's not much, to be honest. Lucas Perez has just come on for West Ham. He's obviously the new signing from Arsenal. The Wolves are still 2-0 down. They really do need to get a goal back very, very soon in order to get anything out of that game.
Chance for Spurs, Harry Kane! Harry Kane has scored his first ever goal in August. Let us know in the comment section if you had Harry Kane as next goal scorer with Sky Bet. Harry Kane scored his first ever goal in August. Spurs lead 3-1. Steve, talk us through this goal.
I mean, what we said, you know, he's been in and out of the game, hasn't he?
He's glowing.
But listen, you've got to say hats off to Harry Kane, because he's been flickering in and out of the game, hasn't he? But when it gets to these situations here, look how cool, calm and composed he is. That on his left foot, chops it back on his right and just guides that into the far post. Fair play, Harry Kane.
What a substitution as well, Lamela.
Yeah. Has to be pointed out,
direct.
2 substitutions. Moussa Dembele's come on. Spurs have had a lot more of the ball since Moussa Dembele's come onto the field. Lamela's come on as well, and he's just got the assist. 2 great substitutions from Mauricio Pochettino.
What a weapon to have when the other team's tiring, someone like Lamela.
Great weapon
Brilliant
to have. Dave, seen a goal at Spurs? Any other goals? Any other talking points?
No, there's been nothing. Spurs are 3-1 up, pretty much.
It's all right, mate. It's all right.
No, there hasn't really been... Dan Ings has got a new shirt after his other one was kicked to shreds by Jordan Pickford. He's got a lovely mark on his back there. That's pretty much all I've got to report on, to be honest.
Wolves, how Wolves getting on? Obviously,
they're not
Leicester
playing
down
particularly great. They're really not playing particularly great. They haven't actually created anything since Jamie Vardy's gone off, to be honest. They're not making the most of that extra man advantage, and I think Leicester probably win this. you know.
I was just prepping myself for the Trippier stuff, and then that happens. There's loads of tweets from Tottenham fans, only Tottenham fans. Trippier could be the new Bale, absolutely superb, is what one Tottenham fan said. A lot of people comparing him to Bale. What do you think about that?
Wow.
Any similarities
Strange
at all?
comparison.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah,
Do they mean in terms of how
Spurs
big he can be as a player, or the way that he plays?
I don't know. I might have to tweet him to ask.
I think probably that he's scoring goals from right back. Should he be moved further up the pitch?
Yeah, maybe.
No, I think his skill set's a lot more limited than Bale's ever was.
That is the role now, isn't it, of the fullback now, especially the way Spurs play with their fullbacks really high and wide. I mean, we've seen how many crosses Trippier's put in this game on its own. I mean, and the majority of them have been in and around the 18-yard box or even towards the byline. So it shows you how far he's getting forward. But yeah, I mean, he's playing at the moment with the confidence that he can go on and score goals, create goals, and do his defensive duties as well.
Yeah, I have to say, for me, he has been one of Spurs' standout players, big contender for man of the match. He has had a great game, but I think comparing to Bale is not quite sure.
Probably.
Yeah, no, I'm not convinced.
Any other
He's in his
questions?
prime now as well, right? Trippier, what's he, 27?
He is in his prime, yeah.
Bale was doing this in his early 20s, wasn't it? I think this is probably his ceiling. That might sound harsh, but...
We have a question from SS. You'll either love this or hate this, Chris.
Fair play.
Should Brendan Rodgers return to the Premier League?
God, blimey. Well, he's certainly not happy at the summer that Celtic have just had, and we've just crashed out to AEK Athens in the Champions League qualifiers. So, and we've just signed another loanee from Manchester City, so not a lot to shout about this summer, really. We're in a weaker position than we were last year. Listen, he seems, other than that, seems very happy at the club. I think he's very capable and could get a job inside the top 6, top 8. Oh, Spurs nearly in again there. I don't want to see him go. I don't know where you think he ranks in sort of the pantheon of current Premier League managers, but maybe shed a little bit more light on.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with Brendan. I mean, he was at Reading when I was there. He was doing the academy, applying his trade there, and obviously when I went to Chelsea, he was doing the reserve team, or under 23s as it's called. There, so...
And did he impress you in
Yeah, no, Joe, what? He's very much of the mould of Mourinho. He took a lot from working underneath him onto his own career. And he's done well. You know, he's a good young manager. I think he's destined to come back to the Premier League at some way. When it will be, I don't know. One thing I know about him is that he's a fighter. With the stuff that's going on at the moment, with obviously Celtic and Steven Gerrard at Rangers and the competition there now, that will get him going.
Bring the best out of him,
He thrives on that competition, so I can see him doing well again. Obviously with Celtic, because obviously they've got the strongest squads, haven't they, out there and stuff like that. So he'll be wanting to win the league or cups again. But to come back into the Premier League, I think he can do it. He was unlucky with Liverpool. I think that's.
I mean, he was in the shortlist for Arsenal, rightly so. I don't think he was necessarily the best man for the job.
Yeah.
And I don't think the fans would have suggested that Unai Emery was the best man for the job either. So a little bit, an odd summer in terms of managerial recruitment from Arsenal. Missed out on Thomas Tuchel before. I think he'd have been better. But I think Rodgers would have to come back at maybe an Everton or a Southampton or that sort of maybe Europa League level.
Yeah.
And then build his way back up to one of the top 4, I imagine.
Yeah.
But I obviously, think he's an absolute god.
You want him to stay at
So stay, Brendan. Fuming.
We've got another question as well. It's from AZR. It's talking about VAR not being used in the Premier League this season. Do we need it for next season or as soon as possible, really? What do you think?
VAR was a big talking point at the World Cup, wasn't it? And it really did split opinion. What are your thoughts on VAR, Steve? Because I thought there's a lot of good came out for the World Cup. There's a lot of excitement you get from VAR as well.
Yeah, I'm still not...
Chance! Another chance for Spurs. It's all Tottenham at Wembley.
Tell you what,
with probably an easier chance than his goal, actually, but it's saved and the score remains 3-1. Lamella, once again, looks very sharp, involved in the build-up. All comes across from Davis, I believe. And Kane is, 7 yards out, straight to the keeper, first time.
I mean, regarding VAR, it's like I'm not 100% convinced, because when it was all brought out, it was meant to be, it was going to basically clear all the confusion. It was going to be black or white.
Clear and concise.
But it still really hasn't. Yes, it has. It's done a job to an extent, but it's not made it, the be all and end all that it was meant to be. So I think there's still a little bit of tinkering around. I think it should come into the Premier League. I think they should.
I love it.
I think they should bring it in.
I like it.
Yeah, add to the excitement. That's what the Premier League's all about.
Yeah.
bring it in, see how it goes. It could be used as a trial period, and they can get rid of it. If
Using it
doesn't
in La
work
Liga,
well.
aren't they? Using it in Serie A. They used it in the Copa del Rey final. Copa del Rey? The Spanish Super Cup against Barcelona and Sevilla.
Chance for Spurs. Oh! Dele Alli on the edge of the box.
This is getting annoying.
Half chance for Tottenham here. Is he going to shoot? Oh!
They are absolutely battering Fulham.
Spurs are all over Fulham, and I've got to say, Lamela has been brilliant since coming on as a sub. Ben Davies does like that strike from distance play, does it a lot?
They've not really had an answer for Lamela. He's cutting them
Lamela has
apart.
been superb.
And look at that line from Fulham.
Yeah.
This is what I was saying earlier. This is what worries me, and this is what will worry me this year with Fulham.
Where's the right back?
When they get out of the game, I mean, it's 3-1 at the minute. If they get another goal, they're back in the game. But they can't afford to start losing 2 or 3 goals and then trying
Spurs
to
look like the more likely team to score another one here, don't they?
Oh, 100%. I mean, they've had 3 great chances there, so to make it 4. So.
Never in doubt, Smithy.
Never in doubt, Chris. Let's have a little update from the Premier League. So Everton lead Southampton 2-1. Theo Walcott and Richarlison with the goals. Walcott with a goal and an assist. Walcott also having another goal disallowed. Danny Ings with his first goal for Southampton. That game is very well poised. Wolves started very well, hit the crossbar twice, but Leicester find themselves 2-0 up through a Matt Doherty own goal and James Maddison, who's impressed since joining Leicester. Jamie Vardy sent off, 3rd red card in 3 years for Jamie Vardy. Spurs 3-1 up against Fulham, as we said. Lucas Moura with a fantastic goal. Alexander Mitrovic, 3rd goal in 3 games against Spurs. Kieran Trippier and Harry Kane with his first ever goal in August. The other game is West Ham 1, Bournemouth 2. Arnautovic taking the lead for West Ham. Callum Wilson and Steve Cook on the score sheet for Bournemouth. So very bad start for West Ham, following on from a 4-0 defeat at Liverpool.
Actually, Chambers.
Not a great start for West Ham.
Sorry, mate. I was actually having an internal monologue there. It's actually Chambers that's been a little bit suspect, I think, in this game. I mean,
it looks like, is that Schürrle coming on for Fulham?
Yeah, looks like.
Is your mate Scotty Parker giving him a few last words?
Oh, he's staring at someone. Look at the glare.
Isn't he?
Look at the glare on him there. Look, he's not happy. I think he wants to get a pair of boots on and get out there.
what I want you to do, Schürrle, is...
Good signing, Andre Schürrle for Fulham.
Yeah. He is a good signing. He could be classed as one of them luxury players that, you know, the work rate, is he going to be...
I have my doubts.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
Do you?
I think he's only started about... I think it was 8 2 years ago, 11 last year. The Dortmund fans don't particularly like him. His output wasn't bad last season. I think... maybe I think it was a goal, maybe 4 assists or something like that, but not the player he was at Chelsea. Injuries robbed him of a little bit of pace. And I think a 2-year loan deal was a bit weird.
Having said that, a 2-year loan deal on a free for a player of that calibre for a team like Fulham, no disrespect, is a good name to get.
Yeah,
oh,
that's not a bad
100%.
point, yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of when Brian Ruiz was at Fulham. Just, you know, it was a great player, you know, technically great player, but just couldn't get to grips sometimes with the Premier League, and the games did pass him by, and he was just classed as sometimes as a luxury player that wasn't justified a starting 11 place. So hopefully Schürrle doesn't fall into that category and he can get a goal early doors.
Forgive me for my lack of assuredness, but were you in the squad for the run to the UEFA Cup final?
No, I went the season after. Yeah.
Oh, the season after that game.
That was.
I remember Brian Rees just being pretty influential in the Europa League. That was where he kind of. Wasn't it?
No, he wasn't in that either. To be fair. So
all right, I've had a think.
Steve has just killed Chris Hatwell there with that.
Nah, fair play.
We all...
it was Clint Dempsey that scored the chip against Fulham.
It was...
Yes, he's got one right. Come on, Fulham.
Yeah, I think it was Bobby Moore leading the light, you know, that season. Clint Dempsey, Damien Duff.
Damien Duff?
Yeah.
Player, what a player.
What a good little team that was.
What a great run they had there, yeah.
Roy Hodgson, yeah. It was Roy Hodgson, wasn't it?
We've had another question from Twitter.
Yep, go on.
Mark Coldwell.
Great name.
With the amount of money Liverpool has spent in the last few seasons, do they have to win the league this season or even a trophy?
They have to win a trophy.
They absolutely do, don't
they have to win a trophy. I think winning the league is tough. But anyone to win the league this year, past Man City, for me, would have done ever so well. Yeah. Yes, they've spent a lot of money, so they have to challenge the league. I think they're the nearest ones to challenge United, but they have to win a league. I think they have to win a trophy. Same as Spurs. I think Spurs this year have to win something to keep players or keep fans on their side.
So do you think if a Spurs or a Liverpool win the Carabao Cup, for example, one of the lesser cups, that's still it?
No, I think it's got to be an FA Cup.
That is
It's got to be an FA Cup or even the Europa League or. You know, in the Champions League, for instance, with Spurs.
I think Spurs would take the Champions League trophy.
Would you take really chasing City down. Like City won it by a number of points last season. Can't quite remember how, but in very convincing fashion.
Yeah.
Would you take, as a Liverpool fan, really taking them to the final day of the season over winning an FA Cup? You know, so taking them all the way.
I think you're right.
Tangible
I think
progress.
if it got to the end of the season where Man City have won the league by, say, 3 points or 4 points, and second is Liverpool, and they've been at the forefront the whole way as well, then Liverpool fans, I think, would be happy with that.
Okay.
But
over a trophy, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're looking at a club. That's what I say now. You're looking at a club now that's tradition of winning trophies. Obviously not of recent terms, but obviously definitely in their history. They are due to win one sooner rather than later.
Oh. Sorry, Steve.
It's all right.
Half chance in the Spurs game.
Oh, hello, Schürrle.
Andre Schürrle's come on for Fulham, making an instant impact there, actually. Great little turn of pace. And also Harry Winks has come on for Harry Kane, I believe. That is Harry Winks' first appearance this calendar year.
Good to
had
see
a
him back.
really good season at a time when Spurs had a lot of injuries last season, particularly impressing against Real Madrid.
I really like
Champions
him.
League game. Was in that the England squad as well. A really unfortunate back end to the year.
A lot of people think he would have gone to the World Cup.
A lot of people think that if he was fit. Had a really bad injury, but he's
Southgate's
back.
a big fan, isn't he?
Yeah, interesting to see actually, because Harry Winks and Lamella only came back into training. I think it was the start of this week or the end of last week. But they're both featuring in this game, so goes to show Poch gets some work in the training.
Yeah, and it's just good to see also that he's kept the faith in, obviously, Harry Winks as well. Obviously, sees a good player in him, someone that can do a job for where Spurs want to be this year. So fair play to him to keep faith in him.
Yeah, Lucas Moura running his heart out. We are in the 90th minute, so we're approaching the end of our 3 o'clocks. Spurs is 3-1. Dave, just remind us of the scores in your other 3 games, please. Mate.
Everton 2, Southampton 1, Leicester 2, Wolves 0, and West Ham 1, Bournemouth 2. There is about 2 to 3 minutes left in either game. In fact, I think all 3 are now in added time.
Wolves as well. Jamie Vardy sent off down to 10 men. You said they've started well. Disappointed with them since the sending off, though.
Yeah, they haven't done. Oh, chance here, I think maybe. No, it's gone the other way. Sorry, that was in the West Ham game. Yeah, they haven't really done enough since they've had the extra man advantage. Like really have not like done enough. In fact, they actually I think they've probably created less.
Yeah,
have they?
Leicester probably got super compact, haven't they? Just
into the 90th minute. Very comfortable for Spurs. Let's just update you with the Championship while we've got a quiet moment. Interestingly, West Brom are 7-1 up against QPR.
Wow.
7-1, Steve.
Tell me Ipswich are winning, Smithy, please.
Their goal scorers are Matt
I've never
Phillips.
seen such a result in the back.
Unbelievable. Matt Phillips, Kieran Gibbs, Jay Rodriguez, Dwight Gale, Jay Rodriguez again, Matt Phillips. There's goals galore in that game.
Dwight Gale's a decent little signing for them for the Championship.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's 'cause,
Consistently, isn't he? Consistently scores goals in that league.
Great for Darren Moore. Unbelievable result in the Championship. Having a look at a few others. Bristol City 2-0 down at home to Middlesbrough. Other notable results. Leeds 2-0 started very brightly. Leeds this season 2-0 up against Rotherham. Frank Lampard's Derby have got a goal back. They now trail 2-1. David Nugent with that goal. They still lose, though, at the Den at Millwall. But West Brom 7, QPR 1 is the game of the day so far. Also, Forest losing to Wigan. Nick Powell and Will Grigg, who apparently is on fire in that game. Temps, back to you.
Ipswich, how are Ipswich doing? Please tell me.
How are Ipswich doing? Yeah, you are rocking the Ipswich, aren't you? I'm just scrolling to find out.
8-0 down last night.
It's a 1-1 against Aston Villa, which is Kodja and Trevor Chalobah.
So we haven't won a game yet, which is fantastic.
Kodja for Villa and Chalobah for Ipswich.
Brilliant. He actually skied a penalty in the Carabao Cup. We got knocked out by Exeter midweek, so thank God he's redeeming himself. Our next question is from James. Our next question is from James. It's about Arsenal. We haven't spoken about Arsenal much. How long do you think it would take for this Arsenal side to start to gel under Unai Emery?
The man next to you is wearing an Arsenal shirt. We've got to come to him first.
I think we've look. Do you see like against Man City last week? I don't think that's a fair a testing ground. Whereas today against Chelsea, this is going to be when we're going to have to see like where we are and I guess like how far we kind of need to go really. But I'm actually very confident about the season. I like that he got his business done early. I like how we've had the majority of our squad play pretty much every pre-season game. Yeah. It was obviously going to be massive for the next man to come in and do a job after Wenger. But I'm quietly confident.
We're going to the pub or what, Dave, to watch it?
100%.
I don't know, mate.
I feel the same. I think by Christmas, I think it is going to take a while. I don't think we're going to be in the top 4.
No?
I think I'm changing my mind every week, to be fair. Like 1 week, I'm confident, and after against City, we still feel a way off.
First, now for the viewers that are confused, because you said we for Ipswich and for Arsenal.
I'm from Ipswich.
Yeah, okay, just explain
but I support Arsenal and Ipswich. Arsenal, obviously, I fell in love with.
That's acceptable.
That's fully acceptable in this day and age. It's fine. Get over it. Yeah, I think fifth.
Ben Davies with a chance for Spurs. Oh, it's a chance!
Oh,
Another big chance for Spurs. Eric Lamela has been superb since he's come on, I have to say. And it's another big chance. The keeper, Fulham keeper, has been brilliant.
The West Ham game's finished. Bournemouth have won away at West Ham. That is a massive 3 points.
That is a massive 3 points. These are the scenes there. There is Eddie Howe. Congratulations. Interestingly, I think some of the West Ham fans leaving early before the end of the game. West Ham have started this season with a 4-0 defeat at Liverpool and a loss to Bournemouth. This is Pochettino. Fantastic result for Spurs. 3-1. Could have been a lot more. There is Lucas Moore
demonstration at West Ham next
today with a goal. And he'll be a contender for man of the match, along with that man there, Kieran Trippier, who scored a fantastic free kick. First free kick Spurs have scored since October 2015, when Christian Eriksen scored a direct free kick against Swansea, and Harry Kane scoring his first ever goal in the month of August. Hallelujah.
So glad we got to watch it
in the Premier League, of course. Mitrovic there with the goals.
That's it.
The only
Everton
goal for Fulham, but Spurs take all 3 points. These are the scenes at Everton. Everton have won 2-1 at Southampton. Goal scorers Theo Walcott and Richarlison. Danny Ings scoring his first ever goal for Southampton. Theo Walcott also having another goal disallowed. Great game for Theo Walcott. Fully expect him to be man of the match. That is Everton's first win of the season. Richarlison there with the other goal of the game. Started great for Everton in his Everton career. Looks like to be a great player for them. So the only game that is still playing, there's one other game in action. We should expect that to be still playing. Leicester, Wolves. Wolves need a minor miracle in the last minute to score 2 goals, which is highly unlikely. Leicester lead that one 2-0. Matt Doherty own goal and James Maddison. Jamie Vardy with his 3rd red card in 3 years in that game.
There we go.
Yeah.
Steve, who's your top 4 for next season?
Top 4 for next season.
For this season, sorry, not next season.
Sorry, yeah. I think Man City will win. I think Liverpool will run them close.
Yeah.
I do.
This is where it gets interesting.
Yeah. So then you're left with the likes of Man United, Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal. I think Arsenal are going to be miles off it this year.
Yeah,
I really do. So I'm going to go from the top. I'm going to go Man City, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea.
Mine is, it's very hard to write. Mine's Man City, Liverpool, Man United, Spurs.
OK. I just think Spurs are a couple of injuries away, it always seems, from... Not from collapse, but from having their title ambitions severely dented. Yeah. Manchester United, I feel, were very fortunate last season to finish 2nd. David De Gea, one of the best seasons we've seen from a goalkeeper in the Premier League ever. Romelu Lukaku's output's very, very decent, or, saying that someone has to score your goals. But I think the teams... I think Chelsea could be the wild card this season, under Sarri. So City... Liverpool, Chelsea, United or Spurs.
Are you? OK, United. You can't have all Spurs. You've got to
really put my neck on the line there.
OK, it has ended. Our last 3 o'clock game is finished. Leicester City take all 3 points against Wolves. Sounds like it was a great game, that one. Loads of talking points, loads of action. But Leicester take all 3 points in that game. Matt Doherty own goal, James Maddison and Jamie Vardy with the red card, expected to miss 3 games for violent conduct. So there are our results.
Blow for Leicester, big time.
That is a big blow for Leicester. Obviously, recently made Jamie Vardy their most expensive player of all time when he signed that contract. And, excitingly, that bringing to an end of the 3 p.m. games means we can look at our accumulators. Here is our team accumulator. Let's have a look what we got on. I said Everton would beat Southampton. Everton did beat Southampton 2-1. Chris said Leicester would beat Wolves. Hamill, you were dead right. Leicester beat Wolves 2-0. Dave Jackson, Fulham. It was dead certain Fulham beat Spurs.
It was ambitious and I liked it.
Spurs won 3-1. Obviously, he's got his Arsenal hat on there with that prediction, we think. Temps went for the draw. West Ham, Bournemouth, which could have happened, but Bournemouth won 2-1. That was 150-1 beforehand. That didn't come in. We can have a look now, though, at Steve Sidwell's picks. Steve Sidwell said Everton would win. Everton did win 2-1. Steve Sidwell said Spurs would beat Fulham. Spurs did win. Steve said West Ham would win. Wrong there, Steve. Bournemouth won. And you said draw in Leicester Wolves, which I thought could have happened as well, but it wasn't. You were as wrong as we were. 15-1.
Cheers.
At least we're all as equally inept.
Yeah.
So, right. Quality.
Final words from socials, gentlemen.
Do you want a final question?
Yeah, go on.
God, who is your young player to watch this season?
Oh,
The
nice.
XF?
Good question.
Ooh. Tough one.
Young player to watch.
What age do you define young?
23.
Because
23, there you go. 23, young player of the year.
Ryan Sessegnon.
Because you can't get nominated for young player of the year, can you, after 23?
Very good point.
Unless you're Harry Kane.
I was going to say the ones that have stood out so far, Maddison
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Sessegnon would obviously be the other
Sessegnon would be
one,
mine as well, yeah.
Young Ryan's
have
got to
to
be up there. I mean, I sort of highlighted Guendouzi earlier on. He might be one to watch for Arsenal, but
Yeah.
I mean, Manchester United are playing. Who's the young midfielder at the moment who came back on loan from Valencia? Oh, where's Patrick Van Straten when you need him? Pereira, yes, Dave Jackson.
There's Patrick Van
Pereira, if he gets minutes, and everyone in Man City's squad seems to be under the age of 23, don't they? I think their average age, the last lineup was about 25 something. So most of Manchester City.
Yeah, that's fair. What about you? Smith?
Mendy.
Oh, sorry, I said Sessegnon earlier.
did.
I think probably like Guendouzi. I think, you know, he cost 8 million quid. The manager clearly has a lot of faith in him already. You know, the fact to start in the first game, even though we had other players back. I think he'll have a very good season.
I'm very excited about him as well.
Good question. Good interaction on social media.
Very good attempts.
Yeah,
very
thank you
good,
very
mate.
much, mate.
Interaction.
It's been quality.
Quick few scores update in the Championship. Bristol City 0, Middlesbrough 2. It's still 7-1 in that other game. Frank Lampard's derby 2-1 down at Millwall.
Ipswich, Smithy. Ipswich.
Ipswich, as I've said, is still 1-all.
How about Brentford? How the bees getting
Wigan
on?
2, Nottingham Forest 2. Late goal in that game. In fact, there's been a missed penalty in that game. 2-2 Wigan, Nottingham Forest. Game of the day, though, without doubt. West Bromwich Albion 7, QPR 1. Goal scored. I mean, I'd be amazed if you let us know in the comment section if you picked that game, because the odds on that must have been
7-1.
amazing. Right, we can have a look at what is coming up on Sky Sports. Football on Sky. Preston versus Stoke is our live Sky game. That is 5:15 p.m. on Sky Sports Football. A great day of football to look forward to tomorrow. Man City, everyone's favourite, many punters' favourites to win the league, and also the odds-on favourite with Sky Bets to be crowned champions again. They face Huddersfield Sunday, 12:30 p.m. Brighton against Man United is at 3:30 p.m. on the Sky Sports Premier League, and the Monday night football sees Palace against Liverpool. That is 7 p.m. Sky Sports Premier League. Look ahead to those games tomorrow, Steve. Do you expect Man City and a Man United win in those two games?
Trick question, Steve.
Yes, Man City 100%. Man United at Brighton. I think it's going to be our first home game of the season.
They beat them the last 2 times.
We beat them the last game.
Played really well against
them. Played very, very well. Yeah. I think it was a very off day for Man United. I don't see the same being there, but I think it'll be tough. I see a draw.
Okay, Monday night football, Palace Liverpool.
Good game.
Always a good game, that Palace.
Yeah, always a good game. I like Palace. Attacking wise, they're very good. Same as obviously at Liverpool. I see goals. I think Liverpool edge it. I think 2-1, 3-2.
How much get your predictions for the weekend's games?
So just working way backwards, Palace Liverpool was a great game, isn't it? I think that's ultimately what cost Rodgers his title bid, wasn't it? That 3-3 draw with Palace. Do you remember?
Suarez crying.
What a game that was. Palace always set up to play against Liverpool, aren't they? Palace don't mind surrendering possession. They like playing on the counter-attack. Wilfried Zaha's always a threat. So I think that'll be quite tight. But I'm going to go 2-1, 3-1. And the others...
Man City, Huddersfield,
like Steve said, a bit of a foregone conclusion for me. But Brighton might pose... I like their business again. Jahan Bash, I can't really say his name, but he was prolific in the Eredivisie last season. I think 20-odd goals, 10-odd assists, creating a lot of chances for his teammates as well. So a really good all-round addition to the squad. I'm excited to see how he settles in.
OK, Temps, any final words from social?
Any final words?
Usually end by picking a player that we've thought has had the player of the day, so I don't know.
Player of the day, what do you reckon? Theo Walcott. He's going Theo Walcott. I'm going to have to agree with that. Theo Walcott, yeah.
Assist, a goal, and he had one chalked off.
Great lid.
Performance.
Theo Walcott. How about any other players that impressed you from our feature game?
In this game, I wanted to see a little bit more from, I think it's probably harsh, but from Seri, from Sessegnon, but... I mean, Tottenham, good team effort, just stuck it out, didn't they? I think your substitutions as well, class from Pochettino.
Yeah. OK, that is sadly all that we have time for. Big thanks to our guest, Dave Jackson.
Thanks for having me,
Smithy. Apologies for the shirt of his choice, but thank you very much for watching, multitasking. The hardest job of all of us, watching all those games.
It's really hard.
It's really hard. Temps, thank you very much for your work on social media. Stats guru Chris Hamill, as always, brilliant as ever. And Steve Sidwell, thanks for coming in.
Pleasure.
We'll be back next week for the Football Social with Sky Bet. Have a good weekend. We'll see you then.
Bye, guys.